10 seats. Not saying the game starts at 7:10.
Oh.
Georgetown very rugged inside, Doug.
You don't know if they're rugged inside. Half their players will be suspended by the
time
the season rolls around.
I saw them play a couple times. They have length. They are long. They can get up and down the court.
Illinois does not get into this tournament, according to Joe Lunardi's bracketology, but Illinois State does.
Who does Illinois play in the NIT round 2?
Doesn't have that. That'd be stupid.
Oh, I guess it would be.
Craving a fiesta for your taste buds? Welcome to Rosalita's Cantina, your ultimate Tex-Mex getaway. Indulge in their mouth-watering tacos, queso-smothered burritos, and the best chips and salsa imaginable. Dine in on their beautiful patio, majestic bar, elegant dining hall, or grab it to go. And don't forget to check out their location at Enterprise Center. No game or concert is complete without nachos and a margarita. Rosalita's Cantina, where the sunshine never ends. Learn more at rosalitascantina.com.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown & Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown & Crouppen, justice is our business.
Thinking about selling your home, but not thrilled about going public? Check out Compass's Private Exclusives with Jeff Lotman. With Private Exclusives, your home is shown to a select group of serious buyers. No public listing, no days on market, just real offers from real people. Their network connects you with top agents and qualified buyers, so your home gets the attention it deserves, without all the fuss. Selling your home can be simple and stress-free with Compass Private Exclusives, because your home is special. Call Jeff Lotman, your Compass agent today, to find out more, or visit the Lotman Group online at JEFFLOTTMANN.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and I have been a long-time Design Air client. What separates you guys from everybody else?
It's becoming more common for companies to just get their foot in the door. They try to come up with different ways to upsell. They try to see how much they can make off of a customer, as opposed to, hey, we're in there to do a service. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it for a fair price.
I don't know how many emails I have received from our listeners who experience the incredible customer service Design Air Heating and Cooling provides. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com.
Hustle and Heart Sports Performance is the one-stop shop for St. Louis area football-specific and athletic training located in O'Fallon, Missouri. Hustle and Heart utilizes the top trainers in St. Louis, led by its owner, 8-year NFL vet Pierre Desir. We have a 40-yard turf field, college-style weight room, red light sauna, and a state-of-the-art recovery room to service all of your athletes' needs. For more info, check out hustleandheartsportsperformance.com or call Dustin at 314-440-8457.
This is defensive back Toriano Pride. Me and my guys will take care of the coverage on the field, and my friend James Carlton will take care of the coverage at home and on the road.
Thanks, Toriano, for protecting Faroe Field. We'll protect you on the road and at your home.
Online at carltoninsurance.net.
See you in Columbia.
Listeners ought to check out Collier & Thompson, support the sponsors, and have the best contractors in St. Louis work on your kitchen remodel if that's what you want, or bathroom remodel, basement, wine room, whatever. Collier & Thompson does it all, and these are people that you can trust. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. That's not always that common for people in this line of work. They won a Torch Award for Ethics from the Better Business Bureau. Collier & Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier & Thompson, come home to quality, online at collierandthompson.com.
This is Eric Conley, the founder of Illinois Recovery Center. At Illinois Recovery Center, our substance abuse treatment goes beyond mere recovery. It's about reclaiming lives filled with purpose, joy, and connection. Our dedicated facility is more than just a place of healing. It's a beacon of hope for individuals seeking to reintegrate into society and thrive in their work, family, and community roles. Our team is ready to help. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Introducing the first ever TMA Banty Brew, a 16-ounce canned wheat ale with orange and coriander and an image of all four TMA boys across the front. The Banty Brew, a refreshing ale made with white wheat, ground coriander, and fresh whole oranges. And now you can pick up the TMA Banty Brew at Salt and Smoke or at any area Friar Tuck's location. Must be 21 or older to consume or purchase. See the can at TMASTL.com and find a participating location to try it for yourself. Brought to you by Charlottesville Brewery and Winery in St. Genevieve, Show Me Beverages, and Salt and Smoke. Find out more at TMASTL.com. KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After on KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, and Action Jack.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to TMA. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Welcome to the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. And, Doug, before we get into the Blues in that second period, Dan Bielsma, he's talking it over with Stormy Buonacante on the bench halfway through that second period. And he says, I'm glad you noticed how well we're playing. And then after that, the Blues must have been irritated by his comments.
It was bulletin board material.
Exactly. And they rattle off 3 goals in a matter of 2.5 seconds.
Well, it wasn't that quick. It was like 2 minutes, so.
That's right. Jordan Kyrou, how do you do?
I'm fine.
In a pivotal season for Jordan Kyrou. He is now on pace for 164 goals.
That'd be a nice season.
And the new guy scored, too.
Broberg.
How about that?
Broberg.
With an assist from Holloway.
Yeah, it was kind of a cheap goal. He should have had that one. He shot it right to him. It trickled through. But we'll take it.
Wow. Going after Grubauer.
Well,
and I haven't even given out the phone lines yet.
Made that save. So that's why you put pucks on the net.
Jackson, do you think Grubauer should have had it?
Definitely.
How about that?
You didn't watch.
You got to corral the puck.
That's why you just put the rubber on the net.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying in the moment.
Uh-huh.
The balloon party's going to be sick with that kind of...
Well, if I get led into it, I can do pretty well.
Wait, listen, we got a first-place hockey club right now.
Thank you.
And I won't listen to anything else.
Thank you.
Bring home the cup. Yeah, we're even in...
Trade down market.
It was a nice start.
We're even in milkshakes, too.
That's right. They couldn't have looked worse in the first period. They looked uninspired, uninterested.
They did.
Dead, just like, hello, it's the first game, let's get going. And then turned it around there midway through the second.
And you were yelling, skate, boys, skate.
Come on, tape to tape, 200-foot game.
636-9004 TMA is how you can call into the Callier and Thompson phone lines. Schaefer Door Company text inbox 314-881-TMA5 and email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Doug, already 100 people have gathered to watch in the YouTube chat Jake Reynolds with this message of inspiration. Morning, boys. This great weather we're having has put me in a great mood. Looking forward to the show today. Thanks for all you each do to make us have a fun start to the day. It's appreciated. How about that?
It's just nice.
How about that?
It just is. I, for one, like that salutation.
Yep.
It's just warm and fuzzy. Thank you, Jake.
Now I'm going to go into the Schaefer Door Company text.
Oh, and then
be a different story there.
Cursing us.
I don't know why. All we've done is talk about this hockey club. This is a hockey town!
Yes, it is.
In total package. Can they play every Tuesday at 3:30? I like it. That's from Chairman Steve.
Well, if you're not working, it's okay. It's kind of fun to have something.
I sat and watched the whole game with my boys.
Yeah,
I wasn't really anticipating them sitting there and watching it.
I watched the first period.
What in the hell happened?
I was at home and I looked at the clock. I have like the Apple Sports app, and it's like, game's about to start. And I was like, you know what? It'll take me about 2 clicks of the remote to get it on. I'll fire it up.
And then you
watch the first
turned
period.
Yeah, then you turned it off.
And you gave up on this club.
Watch.
A hockey game is 3 periods, not 1. 60 minutes, not 20. And you don't give up on this team.
First of all, it's 2 periods during the weekdays. And second, only at home,
That's what I have to tell my sons.
But I watched the first period, said, boy, that I'm just not into this. Looked outside, gorgeous day, went outside.
And what'd you do?
Just ran.
Just ran around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, now that he lives in Huntley, he feels more comfortable than being around the Italians. Oh, that wasn't for air.
Sorry, I dropped it.
Did you put on short boy shorts or something?
All right, I had them on. I was ready to rock.
They say juicy across the back. Yeah.
Yeah, and the front.
Oh.
You had juicy on your shorts as you jogged while the Blues were making this comeback.
Yep.
I'm uncomfortable with Jake. Thanks, 830 Recreator. Jake Reynolds sucks. It's from Nate in Tallahassee. And Doug want to touch chodes at wrestling tomorrow night. Girls have taints, boys have chodes. That's a sponsor, the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster.
Gosh. I am going with Mark Milton. This will be the third year in a row.
Todd Reesing says Jake Reynolds makes me physically ill. So Todd Reesing's vomiting?
Really?
Based on Jake Reynolds' YouTube post.
I hate nice people.
Yeah. They suck.
You gonna hang out with Beefcake?
With who now?
Isn't he one of the guys coming? Brutus Beefcake?
Oh, I'm not sure who else is going. But it's a big thing that the MAC does every year. I guess it's a big fundraiser. It's a funny night.
Good spread?
Oh, yeah. Outstanding dinner. Outstanding.
Well, have fun.
Kind of like what the Blues were treated to last night, I'm sure, after their big win.
Do you think they had a big spread?
Probably
think they
so.
stayed in Seattle proper or flew to San Jose? And how long is that flight?
If I was a traveling secretary, I suppose you'd get them right on the plane and fly. And
I'll say an hour and 50 minutes.
yeah, not long.
They don't put that spread out anymore, do they?
What spread?
After the game, the Blues are on their own, right? I mean, remember in the old days, the Cardinals, you'd walk into the clubhouse after the game, and there's a whole table full of food.
Oh, yeah.
Usually from Charlie Gito's or
Well,
somebody.
now they have their own back room where they have that. It's not spread out in the
They
locker
still
room.
have food in there after the game, or they got to go?
Oh,
on
I'm
their
sure
own?
they do, yeah. With the Blues, I'm not sure, but the Cardinals do.
Find a new show, Jake! It's from the Loomster. Boy, they're not happy.
Gosh.
Just a message of positivity to start the day. Why isn't that
And now
welcome?
that they want him dead.
Not necessarily, but Crystal City Clamhammer says, I want to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a nice guy.
He'd probably kick your ass.
Oh, do you know Jake?
Yeah.
Do you? Tough customer?
Who's our toughest
Is he
listener?
raw-boned?
No, he looks like his text. He's very mild-mannered, down-to-earth gentleman.
Remember they used to have the tough man competitions where just barroom brawlers would get in a ring and punch each other out? I wonder if we should have a toughest listener
They
competition.
kind of have that now with Dana White's power slap, where
Yeah.
guys just stand across the table from each other and smack the hell out of each other in the
That's
mouth.
the weirdest darn thing.
I think that's the natural selection of humanity right there.
Yeah. We're heading in the wrong direction.
Chris Raby is sending in a bunch of screenshots. I don't know what these are, though.
Those are from last week.
Oh, last week. Okay. All right. I have to break for nourishment, and there's rest. There's so many.
Iggy's political takes on Twitter.
Are you really doing politics on Twitter?
No, I'm not. I may respond to people, but I don't really start a political thread.
Got it.
I really don't respond to that many either. But
So you got some hot takes? I need to put these mittens on?
I don't even know what I said.
Oh.
Let's see.
Maybe
Hold on.
Raby
Chris
does.
Raby, yeah, he has it. Boy, the texts are coming in today, Doug. Let's see. Now, talking about the Supreme Court.
I don't believe I was talking about that.
At least he didn't have his appointed Supreme Court justices grant immunity to presidents who are convicted felons and facing jail time, you crooked. And then I don't know if I can say the word that begins with P and then the name that Jackson has when he has a boat drink.
I don't believe that was me.
That's I mean, per the screenshot, I have no idea if these are real or not. This is from Chris Raby.
I don't remember ever say anything about this.
So Chris Raby is doctoring your Twitter feed.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with this. Supreme Court.
Unbelievable, Chris Raby.
What's going on here? Every president gets to nominate someone from the Supreme Court if there's an opening.
Yeah. He put 3 in there to get rid of the Roe versus Wade. Good for him.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, this is unusual for me. I really don't know what's going on in the Supreme Court.
Every president nominates someone from their political perspective.
No, not necessarily. No, there's any.
Yes, they do.
If there's not any openings, there's not.
Well, if there's no openings, they don't get to appoint someone.
That's what I'm saying.
So there were openings.
Time to take a break.
So he appointed someone.
Oh, good. I don't even know their names.
And yet you're criticizing them on Twitter.
Makameliora? Is that one of them?
That's correct.
Miura?
Japanese guy got in there.
You guys see that Padres game last night?
I watched some of it.
So I want to know, is Raby doctoring screenshots? Is that what we got going on?
I don't believe so.
I just don't remember ever responding to somebody with a Supreme Court take.
I mean, I'm looking at a tweet. I mean, I guess it's a response to a tweet, but it certainly is coming from your account.
Do you believe you've been hacked?
So that was my response to a tweet?
Yes, sir.
I don't remember saying that. Who was I responding to?
Were you under the influence at the time?
Megyn Kelly?
No, I don't. The screenshot cuts off.
Yeah, you can't tell.
I don't know. Well, good job, Raby. We're not allowed to talk politics on our own?
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
I know we don't on the show, but if I see something on Twitter that I disagree with, I'll respond.
Go off, King.
But I don't start political threads. Find one where I started a political thread.
Chris Raby says, I sent those in last week. I certainly didn't mean to open this can of worms, and they are not doctored.
All right. Any more?
Doug, any more?
So he's got to prove that there's a few more?
I just don't remember saying that.
I don't know.
I'm usually more into the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese tweets.
Again, as a rule of thumb, should we be letting non-registered voters have public opinions on politics? But let's get back to engagement farming with lukewarm Angel Reese takes. That's from glove blogger Tom Traven. These are called lukewarm Angel Reese takes?
I won't need the mittens for those. If they're lukewarm, I can handle it with my fingers.
Take that.
Yeah, I don't believe you have to vote to be able to have an opinion on something. That's the reason I don't vote, because there's nobody to vote for.
I thought it was because you don't have to get jury duty.
Well, that's why I first started it, but that's not the case anymore. They don't pick juries out of registered voters. They used to, though.
I haven't been called for jury duty in years.
I've never been called.
If you just fade it, can you really get in trouble? They
I don't
say
know.
that, but I
don't
feel
know.
like that's just a deterrent.
Everyone should do it once just to
I've never been asked.
participate in the system. I think that's reasonable.
But I've always wondered, because they're like, if you don't show up, you could be something wrong. Like
I don't know if they'd fine you or what.
Can we just move on? He's got an excuse for everything. It's from Chairman Stephen Wildwood. That's the Malaga Tequila Listener of the Year for 2023.
I wasn't making up an excuse. I don't remember saying it.
Well, it seemed like a strong opinion.
And again, he's finding tweets where I responded to people. Find one where I started a tweet talking about
Well,
that.
you don't have to start it to still tweet.
Yeah, but I don't go out of my way to, I think I got a hot take today on politics. I'm going to tweet it out. No, I don't. But if I'm scrolling Twitter and I see something that I either disagree with or want to have a comment about, I just comment.
That counts as a tweet.
I don't think so.
Well, sure. If you're tweeting, it counts as a tweet.
I'm responding to a tweet.
That's
I'm not
still
tweeting.
well, what are you doing then?
I'm responding on Twitter, but I'm not
That's
tweeting.
a tweet.
No, it's not.
Oh, for heaven's
That's
sake.
a nice hole, Bill.
10 minutes in, and Father Flem is clearing that throat over and over. It's going to be a long show today. That's from Beer Cats. And Doug, the positivity that Jake Reynolds started the show with is evaporated, and now we're in for it. And there's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and for me and Jackson, there's 3 hours and 40 minutes. Plus, we got QFTA, and that means we got 10 hours and 40 minutes. So let's pack a lunch and let's see what we can do today. We're a lunch pail crew.
Yeah, we are. Steel-toed work boots.
Amen.
We all wear them when we come in here.
I wear lifts.
Yeah, because we may have to use the forklift today or do some shoveling. We don't know. It's hard work.
Thank you.
When you watch on YouTube, it looks like we're just sitting around. But believe you me, behind the scenes, there's a lot of rolling up the sleeves and getting down to real brass tacks around here.
Nice. Promo.
Mm-hmm. I don't think people know that. I don't think they realize it or appreciate it. We're lumberjacks, steel workers. That's the kind of cloth we're cut from.
Was covering the game, and so I was texting, making sure 9 would work with him, and he told me about this conflict he had with the Last Minute Blues podcast and asked if we could go earlier. I said, of course. And when he responded, it wasn't like he was so apologetic that because he knew it would mess up Mark Hanna, that Mark Hanna might not be able to be in for it, and he felt really bad because he couldn't be there for Mark Hanna. And I thought that was just like, I was like, man, like there's, when you're calling a guy who's covering the Blues, the lead blues writer for The Athletic, and he's coming on our show every week, but he's worried about the sponsor not being able to be there for it. That just goes to show what kind of guy JR is.
He's first class is what he is, Doug.
Yeah, so we'll have JR at 8:30, but he said going forward 9 o'clock for the rest of the season.
So when you said JR, originally I thought Jamie Rivers.
That's fair. Jeremy Rutherford. When I say JR, I mean Jeremy Rutherford.
All right.
Good article in the Business Journal about Jamie Rivers yesterday, too.
I read some of that, yeah. How he's come back from some adversity and
built that business, 10 years, Synergy Hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a great thing, great market, smart move, savvy move to start that company up.
Mm-hmm.
Tip of the cap, yeah, I recommend reading that in the St. Louis Business Journal. Jamie Rivers was on the call with Chris Kerber yesterday, and they were talking about that game following the festivities. I really am a big fan of Chris Kerber's podcast, Curbside, because you get the breakdown of the game in addition to the perspective of the broadcasters, Kerber, Joey Vitale, Kerber, and Jamie Rivers. Cam Jansen has been on it, in addition to some one-on-one interviews with players. And Doug, you were watching it?
The Blues?
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
I mean, that game, as you said, the first period, you're going, oh my God, this is really,
yeah,
this
what
is
a long
rough.
season this is going to be.
And for real, I mean, this isn't the reason, of course, but I think there was 9:53 left in the second period. They're down 2-0. Seattle really could have broken through in the first period. And they go to Stormy
Nick Bonacani, I think.
No, it was not Stormy Daniels. But she was sideline reporter for the Missouri A&M game. So then naturally, 3 days later, she's up in Seattle for the Blues and Kraken.
Right.
1:30 Pacific tilt. And I'm going, she's the angel of death for St. Louis sports. And she's talking it over with Dan Bilsma and goes, well, you guys got off to a really good start. And he goes, well, I'm glad you noticed that because we are playing really well. And so help me God. Right after that, you had the little scrap, and the Blues go on the power play, and here we go. And so you had a few things going on in that game that they didn't have last year. Now, the power play turned around after Bannister came in. That was one of their biggest weaknesses before Ruby was fired. So that carried over from last year, but they didn't have a whole lot of comebacks last year, and they didn't have a lot of physical responses to some of the crap that went on in that second period with the Kraken. A fast team, and that physicality played a role in the power play, and then the Blues getting a couple of goals quickly with Jordan Kyrou and the newcomer Holloway and Broberg teaming up from Edmonton. So here is what Jamie Rivers and Chris Kerber had to say about that response.
How do you get back into it? You're down 2-0. Well, I'll tell you how you get back into it. Radek Faksa, that line goes out there. Nathan Walker stirs it up with a couple of hits. Toropchenko gets involved with Gord. Faksa gets involved with everybody at one point. And all of a sudden, things change. There's a new intensity. There's a new energy. The guys are going. That's what you need from those guys. Dependable defensively, smart with the puck, and then bring the physicality when the team needs it.
Fox has got a little sandpaper in
Yeah,
his
he
game.
does. He's a banty rooster there with Larson. My God, he wouldn't let it go. I'm going, you're gonna blow up the power play here.
Right.
Yeah, that was that sandpaper that we saw.
He's got sandpaper in his game. Yeah.
And then also something that did carry over from last year, unlike some of those other elements that were changes, at least versus the early season Blues that led to Craig Berube's firing. Jordan Binnington was outstanding once again, especially considering some of the rubber that he had to fend off in the Pacific Northwest.
I think he spit a few wooden nickels, stood on his head.
Here's Chris Kerber and Jamie Rivers.
Okay, go hit the lever play.
And in the end, Jordan Binnington was pretty simply put, Jordan Binnington.
He's such a good goalie. I mean, I love him as a goaltender. I know that he doesn't necessarily get the national attention that he deserves, but you hear Holloway in our post-game interview talking about, well, Binner just locked it down. Like, that team knows that if they get a goal lead, like, it's on lockdown. Jordan Binnington is going to compete. He's going to make saves. He made some unbelievable saves. I mean, highlight reel saves for game one of the season. So the Blues are in great hands when it comes to goaltending, both Binnington and Hofer.
There you go. And
30 saves for Binner.
And they were able to hold on to that lead. Had a number of, you call them glorious scoring opportunities in the first 5 minutes of the third period. I mean, a number of them. So they continued to press, probably not thinking that 3-2 lead would hold up, but to their credit, it did. To Jordan Binnington's credit, it did. And you go pick up 2 points on the road. And I think mentally, to do that after what was kind of a rough preseason, and then to come back from down 2-0 and have the power play such a big role in that win with the newcomers in addition to Kyrou, my God. I don't really know what else you could ask. And it sure as hell didn't look like that. I wouldn't, money line wise, I bet the Blues are probably plus 400 or 500 midway through the second period.
Yeah. There's nobody going to stop this team this year, Timmy. There just isn't. If Kyrou plays to his potential, they could have a real big-time goal scorer there. Because sometimes you watch him like yesterday, and you think, gosh, this guy got to get 40. But
and capitalizing on the breakaway, too. He would have those last year, and rarely would he capitalize on them.
He's never really been able to keep it going through an entire season. He seems to have some down moments in his game. But, yeah, if he could play anything close to that, night in, night out, he'd really have a player there.
The Blues are tied for first with the Utah Hockey Club.
They also won their tilt.
Blackhawks. Hockey went wingy.
The ESPN guys were outside the Utah arena
I saw that.
for their opener, and it looked like they had a nice crowd of about 20 people or so. It was a work day now, but you would have thought the first game in a new city that the place would have just been really crazy. And maybe it got louder closer to game time. I'm sure it did. Got more people. But when I watched, there was a kind of a sparse crowd there.
I don't know what Todd Reesing's talking about here, but he's running for office?
Reesing is?
He's like he was presenting his expertise in a subject that we weren't discussing.
What's he doing?
All I see is, as someone who has run for city office, I can tell you Ken and KG don't understand what they're saying. But we've been talking about Blues hockey.
Ken and Kay, what are they saying now? You posting again?
And he won an election?
Yeah, it looks like it. Handily, too.
What's his position?
St. Louis license collector?
Is he really?
Congratulations to Todd Reesing. Was this last night? Doug,
I don't know.
Did you vote in the city last night?
No.
Looks like it was November 2018.
Oh.
So his term might be up.
Maybe.
I mean, any of us would have beat Mavis Thompson.
Mavis Thompson came up short by about 15,000 votes per the screenshot from Todd Reesing.
What do you do as license collector? What would that job entail? Just overseeing people collecting fees for driver's license and things like that?
I don't know if it's driver's license.
Well, what other license is there?
Liquor licenses.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah.
Rocchio always wets his beak on businesses in the city.
Yeah, he seems to get a nice percentage.
So I think that might be it.
It's another title for he works at the DMV.
Todd Reesing announcing that screenshot from the 2018 license collector race was at 22% reporting. He wound up losing.
Oh, no.
Hanging Chad.
The late votes came in again.
So Todd Reesing ran for license collector. Did you know that, Doug?
I did not.
Stop the count.
Well, he lost. Anybody can run for office. Put your name in there, but you lost.
Yeah. He was ahead, but those damn late votes get you every time.
Nah, let Doug cook, and KG don't try and overstep. Doug, you aren't that guy. As someone who has run for city office, I can tell you Ken and KG don't understand what they're saying, and then there's a screenshot. I don't know what he's talking about. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Blues power play, Kyrou, Binner, Chicken Dinner, Sandpaper, and Fox's game.
Right.
And I don't think Iggy or Chairman really gave any opinions on either topic.
No.
Was I in there?
Well, fellas, we
Ken
have to
and
be
KG
able to
don't
get
know.
through this. We have to be able to get through
but we're
one misguided text that was completely off track. We had a great hockey discussion going on, and someone wants to run for license collector, and now it's all been blown up.
Maybe in this town soft.
Chairman, do you know what you oftentimes have a way with interpreting the vitriol that comes in?
Yeah, I don't get this one.
Okay. Maybe he doesn't like the Foxa sandpaper thing?
He may not.
And KG didn't even say anything, unless you're responding to him on YouTube, but you didn't say anything.
No. Todd's not a big fan of mine.
No, why not?
Beaker.
Oh no, Rock Chalk.
He's a beaker?
Yeah.
Is he?
They have a nice win against Lindenwood this year.
Yeah.
Well, again, what Jackson pointed out last week, R.E. :
Yep.
Yeah.
Really does a lot. It does a lot of work, and it takes an extra 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you want to meet at SOTS or not, Doug? That's from the Loomster. He finished second in the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year in 2022.
SOTS?
Sweet on the Sand?
What is it?
I don't know.
It stands for SOTS. That would be sound on tape in the TV
Sauce on the
business.
side.
Sauce,
Oh, yeah,
on,
sauce
the side.
I like
That's
sauce
what
on
it
the
is.
side.
I guess that could be it.
You ever had a calzone?
Do I want to meet there and have lunch? What's he asking to meet for?
It's a heavy lunch.
It is a heavy lunch.
Speaking of which, I got my lunch in my
Oh, you see lunch pail. What do you bring in, boy?
there's these like chicken things you get at Costco. They're really low in calories, high enough in protein to make it worth my while. 2 of them. I'm gonna go put them in the freezer. Otherwise, they're
What's
right
gonna
now.
happen? What do we got?
I'll
We
be
got a
back.
show.
Why don't you wait till the
There's a show.
whistle blows so we get break
but they're
time?
frozen. They're frozen.
Oh,
If they come unfrozen, it's a real problem. Thank you, KG. I'll be gone 2
Chairman
seconds
Kurt
tops.
is in. That allows you to argue with Todd Racing or the Loomster, who's inviting Doug to sauce on the side.
I don't even know where that is.
I brought some calzones in last week. Big old calzones.
Yeah.
And I think Lauren posted yesterday that when Bennington makes 25 saves, it's like 2 for 1.
Are there more than one sauce on the sides in St. Louis?
I believe so. I think there's 2, I think.
Is there not one on Big Ben at 141? Because maybe I did eat there once.
With the Loomster?
It was not with the Loomster.
He's the one saying that you're meeting there.
Oh. Okay. Well, did we get the chicken figured
We're good.
out? Okay.
Shut up, dog! Hockey doesn't matter till January. It's from K Southtown.
Oh.
David, how about a little Popeye's chicken? That good for your golf swing?
It'd be bad for your swing because you'd get grease on your hand.
Yeah, need a good grip.
It's like sunscreen.
That's bad for your golf game too.
Well, it's good for your skin, but your hands get all oily. You got to do it before, like right when you get there. Then go to the bathroom, full thorough hand washing, and then go back out there.
Yeah.
What's up, boys? My dad and I went to Joe Picardi's for lunch yesterday. Just wanted to give him a shout out because it's an underrated restaurant. Their pizza slaps. That's Eric in the Central West End, and he went to lunch with the gentleman you used to play Native American ball with.
We called it Indian ball. 1 infielder, 1 outfielder, 2 on a side.
We have good pizza, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't that one right up by Tapwingo or in Tapwingo?
I think so.
Now they own Tapwingo, the
Oh,
Picardi
really?
family.
Nice. I like that track.
Yeah, good
I
people.
do too. I do too. Good course. Good restaurant.
Why don't you go out and ball strike?
Well, because I played so poorly last week, my clubs have been melted down into lawn charts.
Got to get those clubs back.
Mm-hmm. Gonna need some new ones. Stop by, play it against sports. Get some old clubs. Perhaps wooden shafted.
Might have been in my back seat all summer.
You haven't played?
Yeah, they played, but they've been sitting there for a while.
Well, why are they sitting there?
In case I play.
Oh.
They're always in the car.
All right.
After the show, I may want to go to family golf. They're in the car. I don't
You
have
don't
to
put
go
them in
home.
the trunk, you put them in the back seat?
Yeah, I don't know. The trunk is kind of small.
What the F is that sound? A chair, a coffee cup? It sounds like a coin setting on a hard surface. It happens at least 5 times a show. Chairman Stephen Wildwood is frustrated with the program.
I don't know what you're talking about. Again, R.E. Colon. It sounds like a chair, a coffee cup, but what? I'm sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
There's a coffee cup right here.
Well, there is. How can you hear
I mean,
a
you
coffee
just
cup
bitch
that's
about
not
things
moving?
and you don't even know what you're saying.
It's not you, AD.
What's going on?
I think it's your chair rattles a little bit down on the underside, Tim.
Oh, is that right?
Well, he wouldn't bitch at Tim, so.
Well, I mean, it's a chair. It's not like anybody's doing anything wrong.
It might be mine too.
Doug, let's move our asses on the Sibians.
Okay.
Mine makes it funky, and I made a big noise when I came back in. So it
Oh,
could've
after
been
putting that deedle away, boy?
Yeah.
Chickadeedle dee, bitches.
It had to be done. It had to be done. Otherwise, it would have been gone bad.
Normally, we wait until the break.
I know. I should have done it right when I arrived today, but
Classless.
But I was
My protein shake's sitting right here, warming up.
There's
It'll
no
be
milk
like
in
soup.
that though, right?
No, it's straight water.
Maybe all right.
Shouldn't leave your clubs in the car, mate. Shafts will weaken from the moisture. It's from Tervis Parish.
Yeah.
Really? The shafts.
Do you like that, mate?
From what moisture?
Do you have a problem with him being addressed as mate?
I don't like that
I've
either.
heard that
I like
in the
it.
winter you should bring them in. In the summer, I've heard it's not that big a deal.
Well, in the winter, they go in the closet.
Yeah.
What moisture?
I don't know. Condensation?
I don't have any moisture in my car. Doors are shut.
Why would there be any more moisture in a car than there would be in your garage?
Ask this clown. I didn't bring it up.
Okay, he knocked us off track again.
I don't even remember who said that. Oh, Crystal State Clown? Yeah, he's a clown.
Don't put your golf clubs in the car. The moisture will ruin the shaft. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Here you go. Go after this guy. 3 C's.
I'll put the clubs wherever the hell I want to put them. Moisture be damned.
I didn't say it was you, numbnuts. It's someone's chair. I gave up on you and all your disgusting old man sounds. That's from Chairman Stephen Wildwood, and he's not happy now.
What about the coffee cup? Who are you talking about there?
Chairman Steve, the action's back on you. Callier and Thompson phone line 636-9004 TMA. Schaefer Door Company. Text inbox 314-881-TMA5 and Design Air Heating and Cooling email the day. Look at JV Golf Coach. Diversified leaderboard, fun to see, but JV Golf Coach is still your leader. Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Doug, it was 50 degrees. I was driving into Hubbard Radio, St. Louis today. And it's still going to be beautiful, though. When it's all said and done, it's cold right now. But then, here's what's going to happen. Mid-70s by the middle of the day. Actually, 77 is what I'm seeing. Glorious. Friday, 81. Saturday, 85. Welcome to ball striking season. Now we got a problem, though, Jack. Now we got a problem. Settle in. High of 56 on Wednesday, low of 38.
Oh, it's almost freezing.
Here we go.
That's next Thursday?
Next Wednesday. I'm sorry if I misspoke.
Well, it can't
This
be
is
80.
it. Who sang that?
Kenny Loggins?
I think so. 78? I don't know. If it's before 82, it doesn't count.
I don't know the years.
Is that with Messina?
This is it. Loggins and Messina? Mike Messina?
No, I think that was from his Celebrate Me Home album.
Does that Celebrate Me Home?
That sounds right.
Keep the Fire, 79.
79. Still won.
All right.
But don't invest on anything.
He cranked
before
out a lot of
82.
hits there for a few years.
And not in the Hall of Fame. Hard to believe.
He's not? Or as a group, they're not?
As long as Messina should probably be in too, but he's not in. He should be.
Yeah, he should. Well, what can we do to right that wrong?
You can't. I've already sent in applications for Rory Gallagher. They won't put him in.
He's not quite at the level of Kenny Loggins.
Yeah. He's only sold 25, 30 million albums worldwide. Recognized one of the greatest guitarists of all time, but yeah.
Well, we got thrown off track again.
PGA Pro Dan is making a public service announcement. Please do not leave your clubs in your car. All we have done is re-glue heads and shafts from clubs in the trunk.
Really?
It's PGA Pro Dan.
I don't get it. Why would that affect him?
I've always heard that the grips get messed up when you leave them in the car.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I've just been told these things, so I do them.
How would that be any different than the garage?
Well, I think you want to leave them in somewhere where it's not cold, so inside, not necessarily in the garage. Unless you have a heated garage, and if so, blessed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't leave them in the car in the winter. I don't know what the summer, what's the difference between a trunk and a closet or a garage where it's just as hot.
I don't know. I just don't.
Unless it's the driving around where the clubs are bouncing up and down. I don't know.
Good.
I'm not good enough to worry about whether my shaft's got moisture.
No.
Thank you, Dan. It's from Tervis Parish. He feels vindicated. It's a win.
Well, I guess if we're absolutely determined to keep them in pristine condition, yeah, you could put them in a closet somewhere in your house every time you came in and out of the car with the clubs, I guess.
Yeah. Living in the city, I kind of had to every time.
Because you thought someone would steal
Well,
them.
just in case.
Yeah. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid I leave something in the car, someone will steal it.
Probably just do that in general.
Most people don't even think about that.
Yeah. Listen, you can be blind to the world, or you can just embrace it.
Well, you shouldn't embrace thievery.
No, but you should protect yourself against it.
Yeah, you should. Or live somewhere where you don't have to.
Well, I moved, so how do you like me now?
Okay, better.
The change in temperatures messes with the adhesive and the grips. Dear Lord, Doug, you're lucky you're pretty. It's from Arbor Day.
Oh, gosh.
You feel lucky you're pretty?
You don't get changes in temperatures in your garage?
Again, I think...
Arbor Day, call in 636.
Don't you think most people store their golf clubs in the garage somewhere?
Probably.
They don't bring them in the house.
Or a carport.
Or insist that
Probably in a carport.
their clubs be in 70-degree weather all the time.
Do you keep yours in your attic?
No, it's too hard to get up there.
Yeah. Is it like a ladder situation?
You need a ladder.
Yeah.
I did go up there years ago to replace the insulation. Blew insulation in, got a giant bale of insulation from Home Depot.
Boy, you're relatable.
Yeah,
And then you
you're a meat and potatoes guy.
You got to straddle the joist up there, otherwise you'll fall through the ceiling. Fun times, fun. And you're inhaling all that.
This is just the joys of home ownership.
Right. Makes a big difference, though.
I'm sure.
Hey, Mark Hanna is sponsor of Jeremy Rutherford. He's going to join us at 8:30 today, not 9 o'clock. He'll take your two-part questions. Mark Hanna's online at Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Jackson, you know anything about him?
Yeah, I think I just talked about the Jeremy Rutherford. He was concerned that Mark Hanna wouldn't be there. That just shows the kind of guy JR is. I texted Mark Hanna right after that. He said, brother, no worries about anything. I'll drop in at 9 and say what's up to you fellas. It's not a problem. That's just he's an easygoing. He's the right kind of guy you want in your corner. When you look at our Wednesday guest, when you have Mark Hanna sponsoring Jeremy Rutherford, and our Monday guest, James Carlson sponsoring Game D'Arbin, that's called synergy right there.
Is it?
There's a lot of similarities between those guys. They're all great guys. Mark Hanna has a ton of financial wisdom, and he conveys it to his clients oh so effectively. You get on the phone with Mark Hanna, you understand the difference. There's a lot of people out there who have a ton of financial knowledge. Mark Hanna is one of them, but his ability to convey his message to his clients is what sets him apart. I love working with Mark Hanna. I think you will as well. Call Mark Hanna today.
314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com.
Because yesterday you said you liked Hanna because he's tall?
Yeah.
I mean,
that made him a good money manager?
You see any Wall Street guys under 6'4"?
I haven't really.
See?
Ideally, if I have my druthers.
Yeah, he's a tall man.
You want a tall advisor.
It's about survival of the fittest.
Okay.
Right. But Mark Hanna would be great at 6'5" or 5'5".
Better at 6'5", though.
Would agree.
Yeah.
I'm 5'5", but I wear lifts.
He'll stretch your money just like his legs stretched while he was growing. That's what you're saying.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice little marketing
Has
message.
been in the business for a little bit.
Design Air is a sponsor of the email today, online at designairservice.com. That's Seth Goldcamp. And Doug, hey, listen, here's the deal. We can fight it all we want. The reality is it's October 9th, all right? So think about those days when the Cardinals win the playoffs. And the playoffs start, and it's warm and ideal weather. Oh, the shadows. And then by the time they'd get to the World Series, oh, my God, it's like you're living in Antarctica. Think about the changes that happen between the start of October and the end of October. Make sure you're ready for the winter. Get things taken care of now at designairservice.com, official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. And Jackson and I will go QFTAing today. I guess around 11:15, 11:30. I might get pulled into a meeting, but you can send your questions, your comments. Love an erotic story. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. I just don't know if anybody in our audience is having sex because nobody's sending it in,
Yeah. It might be a good thing that most of the walruses don't, spawn a new generation.
So you don't want heavier people to reproduce?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, it's a take.
I was just thinking, send in any of your sexual dalliances over the last 20 years. Doesn't have
that's
to be
the statute
recent.
of limitations.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be recent.
Okay.
Just send, if you've had some interesting sex stories, send it in.
But they should be real, true.
I think that's all we get, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to
make anything up. No.
Yeah, we're not going to. You don't have to put references down.
Because the adventures are so many, you don't have to make anything up.
Yeah. I mean, listen, was it easy for me to look my family in the eyes and talk about a gentleman masturbating in my office chair a couple decades ago?
You told the family about that around the Thanksgiving
It was Thanksgiving. That's right. You were there?
Well, you're acting like everybody in St. Louis didn't hear that podcast.
Yeah, that's the weird part that you're doing right there. Okay. That's the weird part.
Well, it'd be a boring QFTA if they didn't make up stories.
Oh!
If they send in their real ones, it'd be, yeah, Tim, 3 years ago, I got on top of my wife, 2 strokes, I was done. Great night.
Oh,
there you go.
So these guys are heavy and they also lack stamina?
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be our stories.
That seems like punching the clock.
Punching the clock.
Yeah, get your work in and get out.
Like when you've hit 2 balls out of bounds in a match play game. Just get some work in.
I'm giving up this hole.
Literally.
My ears have sex every day from 7 to 10 because you guys' voices are so hot. That's Eric in the Central West End. How about that?
Yeah. Try 7 to 11, a little show called Balloon Party.
Yeah. Jackson, what do you have today? Wide Berth Wednesday?
You better believe it.
You know they're going to come after you for the Blues winning and you not watching the final 2 periods. I'm just warning you.
That's fine. I'll reposition it as when I was watching the game, they played terrible. When I stopped watching, they played well. So I'm the straw that stirs the drink.
Really?
I'm stuck in a sexless marriage, but by golly, I might come up with one from my single days. That's from Injun Joe's Cave Ride Magic Man.
No, not you tried last week. No, thank you.
That was bikini model Brittany. That's different.
Right, fair. Sorry.
Did he say he's stuck in a sexless marriage?
Yes.
You're not married.
Doug,
been engaged for 14 years, but you're not married.
Maybe it's a common law marriage.
First of all, you don't have a mom because you're not married, so your kids don't have that mom that you're dating.
What's that?
Yeah,
that
that
might
one.
be the greatest sentence ever uttered on this show.
Jake Reynolds says we have a neighbor in our apartment complex who has their Christmas lights up since the end of 2022.
No, stop.
I just read what's in the prompter.
Oh, there are people who don't take them down.
Ever?
There are some. It's a Hoosier thing, but
Oh,
there are some people who don't take down their Christmas lights.
You gotta call the
Not a lot,
city.
thankfully.
Yeah, there's a resident not far from me that's had a Santa up on the roof perpetually.
You can't do that.
One time in college, I explored my girlfriend's starfish and she couldn't hold a fart in for weeks. She might have wanted to enact the 48-hour rule. It's from Flip Wilson.
Oh.
And now we're starting to see a little momentum for erotic stories.
Yeah.
That wasn't that erotic, really.
Like pushing a boulder up a mountain.
I had sex last night and it was great. That's from Scott's wrinkled ballsack, but not his wife.
Okay.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, things are starting to happen, Doug. It's percolating. The audience is getting randy.
Yeah. They're starting to remember things.
Team McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Just share. And there's nothing hotter than me and Jackson in this small studio reading pornography to each other.
Couldn't agree more. It's my favorite part of the week.
That's the show?
Basically, that's
More or less.
that's what the sponsors want. Call me shocked. Jake Reynolds lives in an apartment. That's from the 314, and now we're going to go after that.
Mm-hmm. Apartment shaming.
You can't win on the program.
No.
You can't win on the program. Who has won on the program?
No one ever.
Seems like anybody who leaves.
Yeah, that's true.
They're the big
you
winner.
become a god.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a musician at 27.
Yeah.
You get fired or you quit.
Yep.
You become god.
Non-gay did well.
Yep.
Bruce
I was texting with that non-ling yesterday during the Blues game. And you know what he said to me?
What?
Nothing more dangerous than a two-goal lead.
Again, he said it.
Yep. He's right on target, though.
I'd still rather have a 2-goal lead than be down 2-0. I'd still rather be that. But he's done well since leaving the show, and Joe's anus has stopped bleeding, as far as we know. So that worked for him, too.
Right. So, take that, Ibon haters. Where are you now?
Right.
Did Ibon have a lot of haters?
Everybody who's ever been on this thing is.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Dumb question.
But like you said, you leave the show, you become God.
That's
wait, you can live in an apartment and not be a grumpy old pervert. That's from Arbor Day. Milagro Tequila Texter of the Year. Last night I poured a chocolate milkshake down my diaper and achieved erection and then release. That's from Little Tommy Tribble.
God, that's
we're starting
awful.
we're starting to get some of these sent in now.
Why would that be erotic in any way?
Now you're going to start to kink shame.
I am exactly going to do that.
I had sex with some Hoosier mom in some Hoosier bar in some Hoosier town in Virginia this weekend after the pony races. It wasn't that hot. Thanks. That's from Jugs in D.C. So now they're starting to come in.
He's in D.C. listening to this.
Yeah.
He's one of our
It's
elected
like the ball and beer
representatives.
pitch. Yeah, I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
Just quick drive down to Virginia.
Yeah.
Nova.
Well, it's like right next door.
Yeah.
And felt like he needed to tell us about it. And she was a little heavy, did he say?
No, it wasn't that great.
Yeah. Okay.
Great text flip. You find anybody to play with tomorrow? That's from the Loomster. What's going on? Is that a private text that came into the Schaefer Door Company text
Flip
inbox?
Wilson, did he have something about golf clubs?
I thought he was one who had anal, and then his girlfriend couldn't stop farting for the next 48 hours or something like that.
Oh.
Tough.
Is that a real thing?
Why do you look at me? I don't know.
If they fart, they're gone.
That's your rule?
Yeah. It's disgusting on a girl to fart.
Oh.
There you go, Doug.
Guys, it's funny as hell. When a girl does it, it's gross.
Wow.
Yeah, 'cause
That's not a progressive attitude.
No, 'cause
Rosie the
girls-
Riveter over
no,
here.
because girls are more, couth. They're not supposed to walk around farting.
Yeah. Well, guys aren't either, really.
That's why I'm off of the Hawk Tua girl now.
Oh, no.
Our podcast the other day just talked about the biggest dumps they've ever taken. I said,
Oh, Lord.
God. This
Doug, have you listened yet?
God, no.
I said, I'm done.
That was the whole conversation?
Yeah, I don't know who this girl is. She can't host the show. It's her podcast, but she sits there and answers questions from the host who is somebody different.
Oh, it's a new host every week?
It was Whitney Cummings last week. This week, it's some girl I never heard of. Telling lies. I saw you naked in your trailer before the show. Who has a trailer before a podcast?
Jackson actually
We all have
requires one.
trailers.
And who's
Star
changing
wagon.
in the trailer? And she goes, and you were doing those voice warm-ups. I never heard that before. La 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 la. Your voice, doing voice work before a podcast? And you got a trailer?
I actually saw this clip. She was interviewing a country music star, and she was at
Lainey Wilson.
Dasha. She had the song Austin last year.
So do you say Dasha or Dasha? Because there was a porn star in like 2001.
It might be Dasha, but she
It was
talking,
Dasha.
Yeah.
And this is the same person. Wow.
No. She's like in her early 20s. And she was talking about a concert that Hawk Tuah girl was at.
And then she dropped ass there?
I don't know about that, but they definitely did talk about that. I saw some clips from
And
it.
Dasha was talking about her dropping ass?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Called herself an S girl.
What's an S girl?
Well,
Doug?
What do you mean,
I
well?
can't
Like an
say-
S corp?
I can't say the word that starts with S.
Well, she said they call me Diesel because I take just gigantic craps.
Oh, God.
Dasha said this. And she sells her sexuality in music?
Is that her name, Dasha?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're trying to decide if it's Dasha.
I saw.
Remember Dasha? She had a scene with Brianna Banks. Was she a maid in that scene, or
I
was
don't
Brianna
know.
Banks the maid?
She had a song called Austin last year that was really big.
I never heard of her. But she's...
And they get together to talk about their fecal matter?
More or less. I don't think I could ever listen to this podcast.
Doug, have you listened to this?
No!
It doesn't really interest me that much, but I did see it.
That's
pop
all they
up
can
on
think of to
TikTok.
talk about? They think that's going to help market their music?
I don't know, man.
Jackson's
It's a
flustered.
podcast. Like, who the hell cares? If people don't like it, they don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably didn't like it. How many people would like it?
Iggy was listening?
Well, I just see clips of it come up. I don't listen to it. But the clips are just... It's terrible. I feel bad for her because her handlers
I
are
don't.
telling...
She probably is super rich.
Yeah, but her
Which one are you
handlers-
talking about? Both of them.
Both of them.
What, her...
You think Hawk Tuah is a millionaire now?
Yeah.
How about that? Good for her. God bless.
100%.
Her tag-along do anything?
Who's your tag? What are you talking about?
This girl was in the video with her. It's like everywhere with her. It's like Siamese twins.
And that upsets you a little bit.
No. I'm not sure what she does.
No. Probably just a friend, along for the
She
ride,
just sits there in the chair during the podcast and...
and doesn't talk.
You took a dump today?
That's her question.
It's awful.
Wonder if we can get the audio of that. I'd love to hear it. We also have some Drinkwitz
God.
sound yesterday as he and Gabe sparred. If I rip a fart and then Sugar Mama rips one even louder and juicier, I find myself getting turned on. That's from Jackson's buddy Sweet Sweet Kai, who was aroused by his fiance
Man.
ripping loud and juicy farts.
No.
Is that a kink?
Yeah.
That's a kink. So then I guess we can't say anything about
The
it.
one thing you definitely don't want is juicy.
Yeah, that'd be like...
You don't want that.
So he sprouts a little soft cow when he hears that?
Juicy would be almost like you're dropping ass almost. If it gets juicy, that means something's
I guess
coming
maybe,
out.
is he into scat play? Is that his thing?
Could be.
Jackson, has he ever said that to you?
That conversation has never come up. But, you peel back the layers of the onion. You never know what you're going to find.
Oh.
I would
Does
think.
that make you uncomfortable because you know this lass and you know that she turns on your good friend by ripping juicy ass? Jackson, the answer is yes. If you're in the tank, the answer is yes. This is like the referee at Virginia Tech and Miami. If we have to look for 7.5 minutes, we don't have evidence.
I just feel bad because she's just a nice, sweet girl. And sweet, sweet guy's just putting her on blast like that, literally.
Yeah. Does she know this is happening?
Yeah.
She's a loyal listener.
Whenever she gets discussed, she listens. To my knowledge.
I feel bad for her.
No, I'm off a gill strap. I'm on a new guy. I think he's called The Poop Story. And this guy's funny as hell. He just walks around.
Don't make the noise.
No,
Don't
but he makes a noise before he actually farts.
A lot of bets are going to get paid off right here.
No,
a lot
I'm
of people
not
had you making the noise.
No, it's not gill strap. It's a new one. But what he does is he acts like he's got a stomach problem. He looks right at the people. Gill strap would just walk by him. He just kind of does his face. And then he farts, and then he'll shake his leg, and a fake poop comes out.
Oh.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh.
See, guys doing it funny. If a girl did that, I'd say, that's gross.
Yes. If anybody did it, it'd be gross.
No, it's funny.
Still
I don't-
gross.
I
What
don't
can
care.
Brown do for you?
I don't care how old you are. Farting will always be funny.
But still gross.
Well, it's fake. But I don't know where this guy's getting the noise from because his hands aren't in his pocket. and there's nothing in his hand like a fake squeeze box thing. So maybe he's farting for real. I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I can't speak for his fiance, but every time Kai farts, some of my protein oozes out. That's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves. And he is a sponsor.
We're coming off a 3-2 Blues W in the season opener in the curtain raiser. And this is what we're talking about?
Well, we've talked about it.
And then we moved on to his protein coming out? Oh. I don't know what to tell you.
You guys ever notice that when Ken says something especially dirty and appalling, he instinctively looks at Tim like a big, dumb Labrador that just bought its owner a dead squirrel and is dismayed by the lack of approval? That's from Arbor Day.
Well, I'm looking this way. Doug's over there. Tim's there. So I'm kind of looking this way. What am I going to do when we talk?
You ever look at the wall where Chairman Kurt is?
Guys, I was looking at this poop story yesterday. Funny as hell.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah. God, it was so cool. He does fake poop out of his trousers. You guys like that? What? I can't see you.
Straight Hoosier comedy. It's par for the course. Beer Cat sounds defeated, Doug, at 7:58.
Yeah, it is Hoosier comedy. Without question. It can be funny, but it's still gross.
Got your ketchup marrying applications in anywhere?
Oh.
You need references for that?
You probably have to show examples of your work. See if you could do it on demand.
Yeah, probably both glass and squeeze bottles.
Do you bring a funnel?
No, that seems like it would be cheating.
It could be the tools of a pro.
I'm about done with glass ketchup bottles, by the way.
All right.
Get rid of them.
Really?
The squeeze bottle's been invented. I don't need the nostalgia of a glass bottle. It's hard to get out. What's up?
They still make glass ketchup?
Yeah. If you go to like a diner or something, they'll have a glass ketchup bottle. It's just so it's like the Boise State Blue Turf.
We don't need it.
Let's get back to basics here.
Okay, well, we settled that. You think that's what knocked Beer Cats out of the business? Too many glass ketchup
No, I think
bottles?
Angry Beaver closed, so he's out of a job.
Well, he'll find something
Munganess
else.
is still open, though. Yeah. And they're the sponsor of the 7 o'clock hour, which we're in with 1 minute left. Oh, now it's 8 o'clock. Wow. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. That's Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess. Two wonderful gentlemen. And Ryan Seiberg in the service department. Just got new tires put on my wife's vehicle with Ryan Seiberg and the staff at Munganess, St. Louis Acura. Just go online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com and work with the great Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess. And we think the world of them. And once you start working with them, I don't know if you would go anywhere else. stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com, official automotive sponsor of TMA and of the 7 o'clock hour. Also automotive sponsor of the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Presenting sponsor of Balloon Party. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Doug, we've got a text inbox sponsor. It's Schaefer Door Company. The number is 314-881-TMA5 to text into the program. But then Schaefer Door Company has set up a way for you to get in touch with them. A couple of ways, as a matter of fact. That's fun.
Well, here's one way. You can call them at 636-782-3608. And they do have a website, schaeferdoor.com. I'm going to go ahead and spell Schaefer, S-C-H-A-E-F-E-R. I realized why they want us to spell it, because there's also there's a Schaefer Electric with 2 Fs. This is Schaefer Door Company with 1 F.
It's different.
S-C-H-A-E-F-E-R. This is who you call if something happens to your garage door. It's happened to all of us with garage doors. Now, if you've got a carport, you can stand down right now.
That's
If you have a garage, you have a garage door. Sooner or later, something's going to happen like it did with my garage door. So what did I do? I called Schaefer Door. Jason Gosser got some people out there, and they gave me a new strut on the garage door. I thought I might need a whole new door because it's about 25 years old. Nope, one little strut, and it works perfectly. They use LiftMaster parts. They service all kinds of garage doors for service and the new installs with LiftMaster. LiftMaster garage door openers are strong, quiet, and versatile, and they will do the job for you. Whether that's just your home, your residence, or you got a big warehouse with those giant garage doors, Schaefer's experience in those types of jobs as well. Anything garage door related, they are your people to go to. That's Schaefer Door. Schaefer Door is a LiftMaster partner. Let me give the phone number and the website one more time. 636-782-3608. And the website is schaeferdoor.com.
There it is, Schaefer Door Company, sponsor of our text inbox online at schaeferdoor.com. You can send in those texts at 314-881-TMA5. You can email in for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. You think you can be better than JV Golf Coach? Prove it. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. And then, of course, we take phone calls on the Callier and Thompson phone line, 636-9004. TMA. We're introducing the first ever TMA Banty Brew, a 16-ounce canned wheat ale with orange and coriander. A cross between an American wheat and a Belgian wit, this refreshing ale is made with white wheat, ground coriander, and fresh whole oranges. You can head to any Salt and Smoke and any Friar Tucks to try the TMA Banty Brew. Head to tmastl.com to see the can and find a participating location to try it for yourself. It's the TMA Banty Brew. Want to be the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month? Go to tmastl.com. If you're a woman, good chance you're going to win. tmastl.com. The great news is you can maintain your anonymity. That's priceless.
I'm against that. I think you should give your government name.
But the Baldwin Beer Bitch just won.
Right. Well, wouldn't you prefer to have her government name?
I mean, it doesn't really impact me one way or the other.
I'd just like to know who we're dealing with.
You do need a government name to pick it up, though.
Oh, do you?
What about that?
Yeah, she can't come in and say, I'm the Baldwin Beer Bitch.
Why not?
You got my vodka or got my tequila?
That'd be classy. I'm the Baldwin Beer Bitch. Where's my vodka?
She got to show her license.
Hey, guys. I had a memory pop up yesterday from Game 1 of the Cubs-Cardinals NLDS in 2015. It reminded me that the lass I took to the game took me back to her place in the mansion house and gave up her birthday hole.
Oh.
I never saw her again after that night. Thanks. That's from the 618. How about that? Okay. Excited by the win.
How do we know it's true?
Over the Cubs. And John Lester started that game, and the Cardinals were able to get him for a month and a half for Lane Thomas, who now hits cleanup for the Guardians.
Something like that, yeah.
So in celebration of that, this guy got the birthday hole. It's great to hear. 9 years ago.
How do we know any of it's true?
Probably not. Mansion House still there?
Yes.
Boy,
And it's the anal capital?
It isn't.
I don't know. I used to go to some wild parties over there.
Anal there?
Freak Fest?
There were. I think it was dudes.
See? So we've got 2 accounts from Mansion House, and it sounds like it's a hotbed of anal activity.
I don't know that it is.
Nice hole, Kai.
Right.
Still there, yep. Mm-hmm.
What do it cost to live in there?
I don't know. Why don't you check it out? Go back to your swinging days.
I don't live downtown.
Your swinging single days.
Well, I didn't have the parties. I would just go to parties there.
And that's when the party started.
No, it was usually after a Sheiks show.
A Sheiks show.
At 4th and Pine or Mississippi Nights. They always have a party back at the Mansion House.
Oh, did they? And you would stroll in there with your platform shoes and boa, really light the place on fire.
I think the platform days were over. Probably tight blue jeans, pair of Converse, and a bulge.
Oh, you didn't have to add that. You wore skinny jeans?
I think everything was skinny jeans back then, after a while, after the bell bottoms went away.
And you had your fake Rolex?
Probably did back then.
Speaking of that, did you see Walker Buehler had his watch stolen from him at Santa Anita Racetrack? It was worth like $250,000.
Jeez.
Some guys just run around. Apparently it's a thing now. They eyeball very expensive watches and they just run up and rip it off the guy's arm and start running.
Ooh. That's scary.
Yeah. $250,000 watch. Does that make any sense to wear that?
Probably not, but you also don't think that someone's just going to snatch it off your wrist either.
No, especially from a big guy, a big athletic guy.
Maybe it's the reason why he gave up so many runs to the
I don't know.
Padres last night in their Jim Dandy of a win.
Still upset by it.
Walker Buehler now has a 10.80 ERA in this series.
They find the watch?
I don't think so, no.
Well, they will when he tries to pawn it off or sell it.
I don't know that it just happened in the last day or two. I was just reading a story about all the things that he had been through to get back to pitching.
It's amazing how every story relates to something in Iggy's previous interesting life and not so interesting current life. That's from Chairman Steve.
Come on, Steve.
In Wildwood, who is
Cut him
monitoring.
Cut him some slack.
Yeah. I'm not going to apologize that my earlier life was more exciting than anything you've ever done.
Oh, poster eyes.
But you are correct. My life now is pretty boring. But that's the way I want it. I'm at an age now where I don't really care.
You like boring?
Yeah.
What would be a wild night for you now?
Going to a concert and staying up past midnight,
Mm-hmm.
which I've done a few times this summer. It's not fun getting up at 5:30 when you went to bed at 12:30.
Yeah. Well, maybe go to those concerts on the weekend, if you can.
Well, I can't plan them. I can't tell them, hey, Green Day. Nah, Friday, man. Friday, not Wednesday,
yes,
not
go to the-
Thursday.
go to the-
Friday. I
go
got to
to-
get up.
Yeah.
Billy? Okay, Fergie, we're changing to Friday.
That'd be nice of them.
Can't tell them what to do.
Well, pick concerts that are on the weekend.
And there it is. Ha ha. Stephen Wildwood.
There's what?
Doug?
I don't know. It was right there.
That's
absolutely right
G-Unit
there.
out, home slice, with the dice. What?
There it was. Ha-ha.
What?
Yeah, I agree. What is he talking about?
Well, he had a lot of gangster in him.
Mike Eckert's in the YouTube chat, and he, I guess, is our wardrobe tracker. And he says it's been 22 days since Iggy wore that beautiful turquoise blouse. That's Mike Eckert, wardrobe tracker.
22?
22 days.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not counting.
Not bad, though.
Doug's got the same thing on he wore yesterday.
I do not.
Oh, just a different shade of blue.
Yeah, with different quarter zip.
I don't know why you care about my wardrobe.
No.
I got new shoes on. You can't see them.
No, do you?
Let's take a look at those.
Yeah.
Oh, those are like the things that Cousin Eddie gave Clark Griswold.
Yeah. It probably costs as much, too. I'm big on the Temu.
What'd the shoes cost you on Temu?
Like $13.95. Comfortable. I mean, they're not everyday shoes.
How long do you think they're going to last?
Probably 5 years. I wear them like
think?
once every 3 weeks, probably. Yeah, there's comfortable shoes.
Okay. That's nice.
Probably more of a summer shoe, but
And there is no catch to Temu?
if you notice, the shoe matches the top.
Yeah, Doug.
I keep waiting for something to happen to Temu, for them to be outed as stolen merchandise or something. Because it's incredibly cheap, right? Most of the stuff.
It's a wholesaler.
It's coming from China.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
takes a while to get there.
I know a lot of stuff everything comes from China, but it's not all that cheap.
Well, it's they buy in such huge quantities. Like they sold, I think it said they've sold like 3,000 pair of these shoes. So I mean, if you got that much in quantity, it's like Sam's Club. How can they sell 4 steaks for that price when it costs this? Yeah, they buy in bulk.
Well, Sam's is just a little bit less expensive than the grocery stores. It's not drastically like Temu. I see ads on Temu where they have products that you would think would be $70, $80, $100 for $4.99. What in the world's going on there?
Well, I have a carport.
Well, I've been happy so far. I mean, everything that I've gotten from them has worked. I got these outdoor lights, a 12-pack of these like solar lights. Put them all around the patio.
Mm-hmm.
They were like $6.95 for 12 of them. Still work. I've had them all summer.
So now it's a show place.
Yeah, I like a little lighting around my patio.
Sure.
The nose whistling sounds like Dizzy Gillespie's in there with you this morning. It's from Flip Wilson. I don't usually read the nose whistling text, but that one amused me.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Dizzy
just
Gillespie.
trimmed my nose
Wasn't
hair
he
yesterday.
a trumpet player?
No, I don't have any nose hair.
I thought he played the trumpet.
He did. Great blues trumpet player. Jazz.
And someone's hearing that on the radio today.
They don't hear anything. Very well.
Oh, Doug. Oh.
There you go.
It's Timo, not Tamo! Maradon.
No, it is Temu.
Temu.
Temu. Hear any ad for it, it'll say Temu.
All right. I just keep expecting the shoe to drop at some point and say, this has all been fraudulent, stolen stuff.
No, I've gotten like a mini. It's not, I wouldn't call it a disco ball. It's a little. It's a little bitty light with a USB port. You plug it in,
Sure.
and it just lights up, and it just twirls. And when you turn the lights on in the house, it actually looks like it's just red lines going all through your house. It costs like $3.95.
You want that in your house?
Yeah. I was looking for night lights.
Okay.
I said, $3.95.
Sure.
Got it. Works perfectly.
Well, I don't doubt it works. I just wonder if it's all legit.
Got a pack of 12 sponges for like $4.95.
Okay.
It's just a place for, you're not going to buy a couch from there or a
Patio furniture?
Yeah.
You tried that too.
You just buy little knick-knack stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I've never trusted enough to try it.
Hey, Mike, I want to slap your big butt cheeks.
Did he get a no back from Francesco on that
Pretty
request?
sure he dropped him and probably went to some guy in, North Jersey.
Would you allow one of our listeners to slap your big butt cheeks?
For the right price.
What's the price?
I don't know. It's just slapping me on the ass.
Yeah, real hard.
They've asked you for worse. They've asked you for worse.
$20?
$20? Yeah, to slap me on the ass. I'll be all right.
Stephen Wildwood's issued a response. What I'm saying is you know very little bit about my actual life. And then to say you've had a more interesting life is kind of your go-to move. And I find it humorous. Chairman Steve Wildwood, Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year 2023.
Well, you don't know anything about my life, but you seem to comment on it every day.
Well, you share quite a bit about your life, so people feel like
doesn't
they
mean
know
he
you a
knows
little
about
bit.
it.
You guys are tight.
Hawk Tua, Lides, Timo. Kind of feels like the Blues' first period yesterday.
Oh,
It's from
gosh.
Stephen Wildwood, and he's getting frustrated now. Now he's just firing shot after shot.
The only thing I know about your life is you play golf very badly.
Oh.
You appraise a few houses, and then you get up in the middle of the night and beat off.
Oh,
That's what I know
gosh,
about
there's got to be more to his life than that. He's been very successful. Look where he lives. He's got 2 or 3 houses in the area.
Football so hard.
One in Dogtown, Wildwood,
Yeah, watches people get carried out at Biggie's.
right? Ballpark Village. Seems like he's got it going on.
Congratulations.
Nice. So we've reached a Todd.
All right.
Made some money in your life.
Yeah, sure
It
did.
doesn't make you interesting.
Would you consider yourself in the running for St. Louis's most interesting man?
No.
Who do you think is, Doug?
St. Louis most interesting man.
Like, we talking like who would have the best stories?
Yeah, you just kind of done,
You got to go Nelly, don't you?
done a bunch
Nelly.
of stuff.
I was
been
thinking
around.
Nelly or like John Hamm or Joe Buck. Someone who's, a big wig.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy.
On a home run by the Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those guys. Probably.
Maybe like Joe Edwards has met like every single celebrity who's ever come to St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
He probably has some stories.
I would sell my wife to slap Doug's butt. It's from Bob Wagon. We would sell
Wagon.
his wife, and then he gets to slap your butt, and it's Bobby
What do I
Wagon.
get out of it?
You get the slap, bro.
I guess you get the wife?
No, that wasn't specified.
I'm interested in the money.
Who's buying her?
I don't know.
Bob Wagon, who's buying your wife. In Steve's defense, I know more about Ken's life, reluctantly so, than I do of my closest relatives. He talks about himself every show, but it's the price of admission to hear the rest of you. It's from Arbor Day, who won the Milagro Tequila Texter of the Year last year.
Gosh.
Well, I try to be open with our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know everything about me.
What's left to explore?
Much more.
There you go.
Okay.
There's a lot of layers to my career.
Okay.
Stephen Wildwood says Claves is the most interesting man. I think that's live. He can tell a story. Kelly
right up
Chase
there.
can tell a story.
Right. Brett Hull.
Yeah, it's a nice play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me a storyteller. I like a good storyteller. Those boys can tell some stories.
Right.
Big Irish could tell a story.
Big Irish. He would have been right up there.
Yeah. Jack Buck.
Yeah, maybe him. Having gone through World War II and everything.
Yeah.
It's a whole other
Hanging
level.
out with the Rat Pack and people he was hanging out with.
Mm-hmm. But
Sunrise
now,
Adams was from the Hill. People don't realize that. Sunrise Adams. Vivid Girl 2001, Iggy? 2002?
Her name was Sunrise?
Yeah.
Early
Good.
deuces.
Afraid I don't
Dorcas
know who that
Webby
is.
could be the most interesting man in St. Louis now that I think about it.
Why?
Yeah, what he's been through.
What's he been through?
Well, when they owned the Aladdin Hotel, Sorkus was like the entertainment director when at the age of 20, wearing Armani suits and hanging out with Frank Sinatra and all those guys. Then he got into politics, went through all of that, going to jail for his dad and all the things that he went through. Now he's building golf courses. He built restaurants and owned restaurants.
This is Junior you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he was running what is now Family Golf for a while, wasn't he?
No,
He was out there.
I think he's still out at.
Well, not now, but he was before it became Family Golf. A few years before that, that was his place.
Yeah,
I
and
remember seeing him out
he also ran. I do believe I think he ran the when it first opened the restaurant at Crystal Springs Quarry, and that was like a hopping place for some reason. A restaurant and a bar and a golf course was like the place to go.
Oh.
I think he's still out at Sugar Creek.
Would another potential St. Louis most interesting man perhaps be Potter Varley? King of the Ritz.
King of the Ritz. I don't think so.
Oh.
Although he is interesting.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I don't know. I'd like to sit down with Sork, but he doesn't really like talking about that stuff anymore.
Sork, you call him?
Yeah, we're friends.
Oh, yeah?
No, we talk about it when I see him, but
do you?
I like to sit down and do either an article or a podcast interview with him and just talk about all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He really doesn't like talking about it.
All right. Well, so that's out.
Ever watch that Meet the Press?
What?
Never mind.
Yeah, I get somebody on a little more interesting than that.
That was the days of calling sorority houses?
Yeah, sorority calling was a hit.
But it would call in, but you would call them.
Yeah. And they would just answer the house phone, and then we'd just talk it over.
So some girl just got done with like marketing 2000 and
That's right.
just answering the phone.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Used to be on the main floor, there'd be one main
That's right.
phone, and sometimes someone would answer it, and sometimes it would ring forever, and no one would pick it up.
Like, would parents call that number to try to get in touch
Well,
with their
yeah, in my
daughters?
day, before cell phones, that's how you got in touch with your kid, or that's how you called home.
Right. I didn't know if there was like, you'd go to a payphone or something.
No.
Yeah. The Moans had to answer that phone, Doug.
Who had a dime to put in the payphone? Would have been nice to have that kind of money.
Sure.
Didn't you have phones in your room? Didn't you have your own phone?
Later. You had to bring them, obviously, for yourself, but I don't think I had one. Well, later I did. Yeah, not at the beginning, but later I did.
One of those rotating...
Little hand set phone.
Nice.
Plugged in. It's amazing how far it's come in just a
Right. It's, I mean, I never even had to use a payphone really in my life.
I'm not sure there's even any out there anymore. Does the airport still have
Airport,
any
I think,
payphones?
still has to. Yeah, they have them. But they would have like a phone book in the actual payphone, right?
Some of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. And if you didn't have a dime, later a quarter, you just didn't make a call. But now I think, how many people you think that are flying, taking air transportation, don't have a phone?
Very little.
It can't be like less than 1%, don't you think?
Your phone's kind of your ticket, unless
Yeah.
you get it the old school way.
Mm-hmm.
We got a break. I hate to do it, but
Yeah, because we're really motoring strong here.
Jimmy Rutherford is going to join us coming up. He's presented by Mark Hanna, and he's going to talk it over, Doug, because the Blues are coming. Tra-la, tra-la.
They sure are. They're already here.
Yeah.
First place hockey club.
Yep, tied with Utah. So Blues and Shacks tomorrow, and home opener next Tuesday against the Wild. We can welcome this club home with their 6 points.
That'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun for St. Louisans. All right, we'll take a commercial break, come back with Jeremy Rutherford, presented to you by Mark Hanna, closing out the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota. This is TMA, and it's presented to you by Brandon Crouppen.
KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Billiken Nation, this is your head coach, Josh Schertz. We want everyone to know SLU is for the Lou, so get your full season tickets now for as low as $125 or experience the excitement up close with 100-level seats for $540 by visiting SLUBillikens.com today. The 24-25 home schedule is a competitive one, with many teams picking at the top of their respective leagues. Pack Chaifetz Arena to show the nation SLU is for the Lou. Buy your tickets now by visiting SLUBillikens.com.
Craving a fiesta for your taste buds? Welcome to Rosalita's Cantina, your ultimate Tex-Mex getaway. Indulge in their mouth-watering tacos, queso-smothered burritos, and the best chips and salsa imaginable. Dine in on their beautiful patio, majestic bar, elegant dining hall, or grab it to go. And don't forget to check out their location at Enterprise Center. No game or concert is complete without nachos and a margarita. Rosalita's Cantina, where the sunshine never ends. Learn more at rosalitascantina.com.
The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Recovery, it's not just a goal, it's a transformative journey. At Illinois Recovery Center, you'll find an unwavering commitment to provide the support, guidance, and personalized care you or your loved one needs to rediscover a life filled with purpose, strength, and lasting renewal. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
This is wide receiver Luther Burden III. Come support NIL and get a quote from my friend James Carlton.
Thanks, Luther. That's right. For every quote you mention, Luther Burden III will make a donation to NIL on your behalf. Getting a quote is easy. Just go online at carltoninsurance.net. Call or text 314-961-4800. If you have drivers under the age of 25, if you're seeing rising rates, give us a call or text us 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Let's keep the momentum going.
Thinking about selling your home, but not thrilled about going public? Check out Compass's Private Exclusives with Jeff Lotman. With Private Exclusives, your home is shown to a select group of serious buyers. No public listing, no days on market, just real offers from real people. Their network connects you with top agents and qualified buyers, so your home gets the attention it deserves without all the fuss. Selling your home can be simple and stress-free with Compass Private Exclusives because your home is special. Call Jeff Lotman, your Compass agent today to find out more, or visit the Lotman Group online at JEFFLOTTMANN.com.
If you talk to someone who has had a kitchen remodel, say, from Collier & Thompson, they'd probably love to show it to you and say, look what our place looks like now. Collier & Thompson does it, and they do it right. Also, football season is here. You might want to update that man cave. Nothing better than sitting in a comfortable man cave, and Collier & Thompson can make it look like the best place in your house. You want an appliance, maybe an appliance for the holidays. You're thinking about that. They've got the top brand names. They got Bosch, Thermador, Wolf, Sub-Zero. Got them all. Old Stacy is the appliance guy. He'll do you right. Matthew and Eric are the appliance installers. Also, they are looking to hire some lead contractors. If that is your line of work and you'd like to work for the best company in town that does this sort of stuff, Collier & Thompson is the one to look for. They've got almost everything, and it's all right there in-house. No need to go to 5 or 8 different places to remodel one room. With Collier & Thompson, the countertops, appliances, lighting, flooring, hardware, plumbing, electric, you name it, it is all right there in-house. They will take absolutely great care of you. Collier & Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier & Thompson, come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
There's nothing more important than the look and feel of your home. So now's the time to make your home your retreat. Replace your tired old windows and doors with Marvin replacement products designed to improve comfort and efficiency. Fisher Window and Door Store, a reputable local company, will guide you through the entire replacement process. Their experts will help you make the right choice for your home, and they'll measure, design, and install your new windows and doors.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher. Since 1941, the Fisher family has provided you with quality American-made building products, including Marvin Windows and Doors. Come visit one of our showrooms in Brentwood or East Alton, and let us help you increase the value of your home.
Bring that distinct sense of quality to every room with Marvin. Visit Fisher Window and Doors' huge newly remodeled showroom in Brentwood or Fisher Lumber in East Alton, Illinois. Quality and comfort starts at Fisher Window and Door. Online at fisherwindow.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and I have been a long-time Design Air client. What separates you guys from everybody else?
It's becoming more common for companies to just get their foot in the door. They try to come up with different ways to upsell. They try to see how much they can make off of a customer as opposed to, hey, we're in there to do a service. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it for a fair price.
I don't know how many emails I have received from our listeners who experience the incredible customer service Design Air Heating and Cooling provides. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling. Online at designairservice.com.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have two questions. Why me and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown and Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the morning after live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m.
I'm gay.
Now.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Well, Doug, you're right. 22 days.
You gonna dress up? Picked out your costume?
Yeah,
yet?
my older son's really into it.
You wear a costume every year, don't you? You and
Yeah,
Emery both
because my older son is so into it. Yeah. If I were a single gentleman, I don't think I'd be dressing up. But maybe I would. Maybe I would. Maybe I'd walk around the neighborhood.
I think you should.
But I will.
I'm only 5'7". There's kids that are like 10 years old that are that big. I was thinking about just putting on a mask and a long coat or something and trick or treat. You wouldn't know how old I was.
Why is this kid smoking menthols?
You don't think that'd be creepy?
No, I get a lot of free candy out of it. I love candy.
You're really considering
Mark that KG.
You're really considering this?
Maybe I will.
What if they asked for a joke and you started to talk and they could tell that you weren't a child? Not a child at all.
I could make one. What did the frog say when he went into the bar? He's croak, croak. Just make something up and disguise my voice.
Every Wednesday here on TMA, Jeremy Rutherford joins us, and he's brought to you by Mark Hanna. Now, Mark Hanna's going to be here, but because JR really banged us today with his schedule, this effing diva, we've got him at 8:30.
Yeah.
Doug and I raging about this. It's not good for the show's flow, but we'll do it.
I threw a few chairs around her.
I saw that.
Yeah, Bobby Knight over here.
I've had it. I mean, really had it to hear.
So the Fisher Window and Door Store is a little different today because we've got Jeremy Rutherford, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Send your two-parters into the Schaefer Door Company text inbox 314-881-TMA5 as the Blues are coming off of a surprising comeback victory after a dreadful first period. What a response in the second half of the second period. Jordan Kyrou with 2. And Doug, oh, look, it's our friends from the offer sheets. Look at them.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do?
Well, yeah, they played pretty well.
Philip Broberg, Dylan Holloway, and then there's Jordan Binnington. And then there's guys with sandpaper in their
Radek
names?
Foxa.
He's got sandpaper.
Sandpaper in his game.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Joining us right now, presented by Mark Hanna, the diva himself, from The Athletic, from 101 ESPN, Jeremy Rutherford. Morning, JR.
Morning. Sorry to interrupt the deep dive on payphones.
Oh, he just came right back over the top.
Good
bless America. This guy. It's effing Jeff County people.
Yeah, I apologize to Mark. Bumping up here a little bit here in Seattle, getting ready to head to San Jose in just a little bit, but listening to the show, guys. And Iggy, you have to go out. Is Iggy still there? First of all, I know he leaves every time. But
Well, when Hansy comes in, but Hansy isn't here today, so I'm staying in.
Oh, so you've got to go out for Halloween, and what I want to see is a FaceTime live of you back at the crib going through the candy, just kind of describing each piece.
Organizing each one.
I think it'd be more
What do we
fun
have,
is
Jeremy?
somehow
We got
filming me going to the houses and getting the candy.
What do we have here? We have some M&Ms. I remember M&Ms back in the 60s. They didn't come packaged like this,
No.
but
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe I will.
There you go, Doug. How about that game yesterday, man? I mean, I'm watching that thing, and I'm going, boy, this is not the way to get people excited. And then you're sitting there and you're going, God, they started off with a crappy preseason, kind of discounted it, and then you see a performance like that through about the first 30 minutes. And I'm thinking, man, this could really be rough this year. And then all of a sudden, here you go. And Doug says it's because the sandpaper in Fox's game that it turned around?
Mm-hmm.
I almost used that word, sandpaper, when writing about Roddick yesterday. But, yeah, no, last year I remember the season opener, guys. I want to say it was less than 10 minutes into the first game, first period. I started getting tweets from people saying, this is going to be a long year. And I was like, can we get through the first period first before we start doing that? And yesterday, I think the same thing. Might have made it a few more minutes because it was pretty action-packed at first 5 minutes. But after that, obviously, Blues struggled, went 10 minutes or so, 11 minutes without a shot on goal. And all of a sudden, people were coming out ready to write off the last 81 games of the season. But this game turned. I was sitting next to Matt DeFranks, and as you guys know, 3 goals in a couple minutes, and all of a sudden they started to come alive. So I don't know that this team's going to the Stanley Cup, but I think that they're going to make it exciting like they did yesterday.
We had a guy who worked on this show for a while called the Non-Gay, and he used to preach to us that the worst lead in hockey was 2-0.
Yep.
Do you believe in that?
Or 4-2, 3-1, 5-3.
Yeah, 2-goal lead was the worst lead.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's just been proven over and over again. And you got obviously nobody's going to notice you give up the 1-goal lead, and rarely does it happen 3 goals, but 2 seems to be that number where a team thinks they got you in a pretty good spot, and the other team comes back and says not so fast. So I mean, give the Blues credit. Jordan Kyrou, he's going to be a central figure this season. That we focus on him and the year he's going to have. And I wrote this morning, he hits that post early in the game, and you think, okay, here we go again with another snake-bitten start for Jordan Kyrou. But that speed, you just can't match that. And so on his 2 goals, he's got the speed, gets out on the breakaway on the second goal. First goal is that power play around the right side. And if he can be that type of player and he can put in 40, I think the narrative around him might die down a little bit, and he's really going to be able to help this team.
How about this? Our first text for Jeremy Rutherford, now that the season is underway, and he's presented by Mark Hanna. It's from the Lipstick Lass, who I think is one of Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, and she says it's Wednesday, and I was so excited to listen to JR today. I'm so glad I tuned in early. Hi, JR. Doug, what is this? Guy's got groupies?
She's sweet on JR.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we sat together at the table at your trivia...
Well, you must have made quite an impression.
Yeah, huge impression.
Jordan Binnington picked up where he left off and had himself an impressive game. Doug with 30 saves, right?
Yes.
And there were some, what Doug calls glorious scoring opportunities for the Kraken that Binnington played a role in stopping. And if there was one thing that some of the people who are like, hey, the Blues aren't that far away because they have that goaltending question answered, they would point to Jordan Binnington. And he delivered yesterday. Your thoughts on Binnington's performance and what he's going to have to do if the Blues are going to compete for a playoff spot?
Yeah, Tim, a lot of people made the point, and I agreed with them the past year or so, is that the Blues kind of can't go into a full rebuild when you have a goalie like Jordan Binnington. Like, how are you going to go in and lose a bunch of games and get a high draft pick when you got a guy stopping pucks like he does? And I want to remind everybody of one thing here with Jordan Binnington. Not that he's not showing up every single night to be the best goalie he can be for the St. Louis Blues, but this year in particular, there is a tournament coming up called the Four Nations Tournament, and he's going to do everything he can to represent Team Canada and be their starting goalie. So you have the U.S., you have Canada, you have Finland, and you have Sweden, and that's going to take place later this year. And right now, Doug Armstrong, who along with Don Sweeney with the Boston Bruins is in charge of Team Canada and putting together this roster, Jordan Binnington has an opportunity to be that starting goaltender. So there's going to be a lot of motivation for him. And then in next year, 2026, you've got the Olympics, and so Jordan Binnington also wanting to be a part of that. So you've got a really hungry goaltender who obviously has a day job here that he wants to show people he can still do.
Who would be the pillow stacker for the American squad?
Oh, let's see here. If you look at
Brent Johnson?
what they have, who'd you say? I'm sorry.
Brent Johnson?
Yeah, not quite sure on who they're looking at right now. I was focusing on the skaters with them because you have the St. Louis connection with Matthew Tkachuk is going to be in there, and potentially Brady Tkachuk too. But in terms of the goaltender, I'd have to rack my brain here at 6:30 in Seattle.
Yeah, let's try to do a little more show prep next time you get up at 5 in the morning to call in to HD2 Radio. It's tiring.
Yeah.
It's tiring, candidly. There were two things last year that stood out in the first portion of the season that probably played a role in Craig Berube's firing. The team would get down, team wouldn't be coming back, and the power play. And we saw both of those things corrected over the course of the latter portions of the season, certainly, or improved upon. But then we saw it yesterday in a microcosm of the comeback that began midway through the second period. What do you think they've done under Bannister to improve the power play? I know Steve Ott has that responsibility as the assistant, and then on top of that, a team coming back from. I mean, it wasn't like they were getting great chances. You had Kyrou hit the post early on, but otherwise, that was a Seattle-dominated game. So, how do you think that those two elements, specifically the power play, yesterday's one game and one comeback, but how those have improved since Bannister came in?
Well, I think they're interconnected, yesterday speaking, because what you had last year was a situation where you're down, let's say, 2-0, and you had a power play, and you think, okay, you can get back into this game with a power play goal, and it just never happens. You could never get any momentum or kind of get back into the game. But what you had yesterday is a situation where you're down. Now you're going on the power play, and that was a set play. Let's look at that power play for a second. So Justin Falk has the puck in the neutral zone. He goes all the way back into the defensive zone with the puck to Robert Thomas. He comes back up ice, finds Jordan Kyrou on the wall, and then Kyrou is able to get around the outside and score the goal. So that was a set play. And when we talked to Drew Bannister after the game, Tim, he said that that was something that they spotted in the pre-scout that they could probably work against Seattle. So obviously, all teams are doing that. Craig Berube did it, but you're looking at a situation yesterday where the Blues found something, and it absolutely worked. Now, with the power play, are we talking about a power play that's going to be top 15 in the league this year? We don't know. But the one thing that I've noticed watching this team in practice this year on the power play and in these preseason games is there's a lot of player movement. So whether you always talk about puck movement, you're at the point. Now you want to bring it down low. Now you go to the bumper in the middle. We've seen that. But we've got players on this power play who are starting out at the net front, like a Jake Neighbors. Now all of a sudden he's in a corner. Jordan Kyrou starts out the power play on one side of the rink. Now he's on the other side of the rink. I think you're going to see a lot of that player movement to kind of help, kind of disguise things and throw teams off a little bit. It's early, but things have looked pretty good so far.
They tried to shore up the defense during the offseason with Broberg and Suter. Did they look better to you yesterday than last year?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, Doug. Sorry. I think that there are two different situations going there. Philip Broberg, you get him on the offer sheet, 23 years old. He's going to be, even though he's got the 2-year deal, you hope he can be a guy that can re-up and keep here for a while. I think you saw yesterday, I noticed some fans on social media were saying that he's a lot more physical than they expected him to be. So, I think you really got a keeper here. And with Ryan Suter, he is what he is. He's a stopgap guy. He's going to be 40 years old during the season this year. You're without Torrey Krug. You got a couple other players in Perinovich and P.O. Joseph who can maybe step in there at times. But here's a guy Doug Armstrong knows he can count on in Ryan Suter. So this will be his one and only year here, I would think. But like I said, he's a stopgap guy to try to help you out.
Jeremy Rutherford with us, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Every Wednesday during the Blues season, Mark Hanna's online at evergreenstl.com, or you can call 314-889-0503. Jackson works with him because he's tall.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
No
requirement, apparently.
Jared's pretty tall.
We got a number of questions here, two-parters in the Schaefer Door Company text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Cucky the Dwarf's our leadoff hitter today, Doug.
Okay, let him go.
Hey.
Go, Cucky.
You know Cucky?
No, I do not. Not this one. Just lipstick. No Cucky friends here.
Mm-hmm. Hey, boy. I'm a huge Jerry Rutherford fanboy. You like that?
Anybody call you Jerry?
I have not heard that, so we must not be too close.
First question, do you think Bannister has the full faith of the boys? Question 2, what is Holloway's ceiling? Bonus question, what lunch meat would you most like to eat off my body? Thanks, I'll hang up and listen. That's Cucky the Dwarf. Three-parter, Doug, or a three-parter?
Let's go with three-parter. Yeah, three-parter. Let's go with Bannister. Does he have the faith? You know, I think that still remains to be seen, but I think it's trending in the right direction. And, you know, Bannister had to lay down the law last year and, you know, didn't know if he was going to be back as the coach, but he held him accountable. That's what Doug Armstrong wanted, and I do think that it hurt the relationship with some of the players. But I think some of those fences have been mended, and now that he's got the 2-year deal, you know, they have to work together, right? And I think that you know, as he proves himself, then maybe that will come. With Holloway, I'm writing a story about Dylan Holloway's season, and the Athletics should be up in, you know, a few days, and I think he can be more than a third line guy. Obviously, the Blues are playing him up in the lineup the past game or two, even in the preseason. But in Edmonton, you had Connor McDavid. You had Leon Draisaitl. There wasn't the opportunity to move up. I think they're going to give him that chance and show what he can prove. And if I could think of one lunch meat to eat off my friend here, I'm going to go with Braunschweiger.
Oh, yeah, you can paste it all over him.
Big Braunschweiger guy.
Yes, nicely done. Hey, JR, what did you see yesterday that you really liked, and what are you going for as Halloween? That's from Big Tuft. Two-parters, Doug.
Yeah, what you liked yesterday is what you said, Tim, earlier, is the ability to come back. You didn't see that a lot last year, but look who's coming now. You got the San Jose Sharks. Watch out for them. 0-2-1 against the Sharks last year. So
yeah, that's right. Debacle.
Don't get ahead of the skis here with the Sharks looming here. And then Halloween, I haven't gone in a number of years. I've gone as a cologne bottle one time. I had to get a big refrigerator box to go around my body, and then I had a spray bottle at the top to kind of hit you with some Drakkar if you came up and pressed my button there. And
nice.
But no costume this year. I don't even know if I'll be in town, but I could go over to Iggy's if I ever get an invite.
You sure
What's
could.
that, Iggy?
You're invited anytime you want to come over, Jim.
How about that?
All right.
This is starting to happen. Things
With
are
or without
happening.
Yeah, we
costume.
do darts on the back patio.
Yeah, I don't think you smoke, but you can smell mine.
Now, did you get left behind in Seattle, not just to destroy our schedule,
right,
but because the Blues won't let you on their charter flight, or are you just such a slow rider you couldn't make the departure time?
All right, can I keep calling you Duggar? Duggar's stirring it up here.
I'm sorry.
You went about the not being on the team plane. No, so this is my 20th year covering the Blues, and I've been on the plane for, I don't know, about 10 of those years. But when I switched to the Athletic in 2017, I jumped off the plane and just started flying commercial, you know, as opposed to what Tim thinks I'm a diva. He probably thinks I want to be on that private plane.
Yeah,
but,
private.
Wouldn't you want to? Isn't that enormous hassle, having to get your own flights?
So yes and no, but the toughest part is when you're on that charter, and like I said, 10 years, when you're covering and you're writing a story for, let's say, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, because I covered them for a long time there, the story is due the second the game is over. So you're hardly watching that third period, and you're hitting the send button on 900 words when the game is over. And then you have about a half hour, 45 minutes to run downstairs, interview some guys, and then race to the bus. I remember times where I was on the bus. You got Darren Pang 2 seats ahead eating a slice of pizza. You got Chris Kerber up there, you know, telling you a few stories. And I'm just looking like Chris Farley, sweating, writing a story, trying to get that second version of the story sent to the Post-Dispatch before that plane takes off in the air. So, you know, I would look like Brad Pitt if it weren't the years taken off my body with the stress there, trying to get those stories off to the Post-Dispatch on time. So there's pros and cons there, Duggar.
Okay.
Let's see. JR, is Kessel going to be the guy with Suter mostly on the back end? And rumor has it you got those pancake nipples pierced in the off-season with some sexy Blues logos. Is that true? To Mr. Siders with a two-parter.
I thought you meant Phil Kessel going to be back on the defense with Suter. No, Matthew Kessel. I think so, yeah. And I know he had a hiccup or two yesterday, and he's learning on the spot. That's why they think that Suter will be a good D partner with him. And then the second parter there, Tim?
Rumor has it that you got those pancake nipples pierced in the off-season with some sexy Blues logos. Is that true? Mr. Siders asking that.
Yeah, that part is not true, Mr. Sider. And I was asked, I do the podcast with Donnie Fandango and Alex Ferraro the other day, and we were going to do a podcast with no shirts on. And I don't know if that's still in play here, but I told him that I was going to have to put the pasties on. And when I say pasties, I use tortilla shells like you do a.
Because the nipples are that large. Sewer lid sized.
Sewer lid, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, JR,
hang in there.
two-parter. First, can we go back to home white sweaters? It's one of my top pet peeves. Second, will you throw on my number 9 Peter Zessel sweater with Dan Kelly patch and take my wife's front butt for a ride?
Oh,
it's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves. Doug, these are two-parters coming in the Schaefer Door Company text inbox.
Yeah, I'll have to pass on that second part. But I'll say on that first part, they ask about the uniforms. You know, I get that question a lot about when will they ever switch back to wearing the white at home, and that goes back to Gary Bettman saying he really wanted the colors, the fans to see the dark colors at home games. But I'll tell you, I'm with the fans on this one. Yesterday I'm here in Seattle, and they announced the Blues, and they say in their road whites. It just doesn't make sense. Like, wear those whites at home and wear the colored on the road.
I agree 100%. 100% with that. Because when you're at a game and you see the new team come in, the road team, you want to see the Blackhawks in their red.
Oh, what a signature sweater.
And the Rangers in blue. You don't want to see all the road teams look alike wearing white. 100%. It makes no sense.
Who's Bettman to decide what uniforms you wear?
Commissioner.
I know he is, but I know he is, but who is he to say what you wear? It's your team. You own the team. What would you want to wear?
Well, everybody has to be on the same page. Otherwise, two teams could show up in the same color jersey.
That's what happened with Missouri and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Not if you knew the Blues wore white.
Well, somebody has to make the rule, and he made it because he's the commissioner.
There was a time I covered a game at Joe Louis Arena, Blues and Red Wings, and somebody didn't get the memo, and they both came out in their darks. The Blues were in their dark blue, and the Red Wings were in their their red, and somebody had to switch. I don't know. Between warm-ups and the start of the game, they got the other jerseys out, I think, for the Red Wings. But pretty wild to see the red and the blue out there.
That'd be okay, too. It's not like people are watching on black and white TVs these days. That used to be why one team wore white, because you watch on black and white TV, you couldn't tell one team from the other. Those days are kind of past us now. They could both wear their dark, assuming they weren't both blue or both red. You could do that, too.
I'm with you.
All right.
Sounds like Doug. What makes you more angry, Missouri's uniforms or the home white?
Missouri uniforms makes me angrier. But the road white uniforms, that's right up there, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, this is starting to become kind of one of our bailiwicks on this program. Is this uniform crisis? Hey, Jeremy, Cucky has a taut and rewarding body, so eating Braunschweiger off of his boy chest will be really rewarding. Personally, I'd show something light when I asked the same question, and I went with turkey. Thanks. That's from Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack, and he's also intrigued by the idea of you eating cold cuts off of him.
Oh, gosh.
Never know what you're going to get when I tune in with you guys here. But,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I can't go with turkey. That's too lean. So that's why I went with the Braunschweiger. And, you know, if there's a way to make money for charity, and, Tim, you can organize something, and I need to eat some lunch meat off of somebody to raise some money, just count me in, I guess.
Wow, it sounds like this might have some momentum, Doug.
In.
Nice.
Yeah, you got dragged into it.
That's huge. What do you think of the debut, if you got a chance to see anything last night, of the Utah Hockey Club, who sit atop the Central with your St. Louis Blues?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I did see Ray Ferraro, who did the commentating for the Blues Seattle game, just did a sprint by us in the bowels of the arena last night, and they had a camera following him, and they were racing him off to Utah. He was doing 2 games in the same night. So I didn't get a chance to see the hockey club, but I think the Blues will see them here in a few weeks. Yeah, I'm excited about going eventually to see a game there. I know it's a basketball arena, and I hear there's a lot of obstructed view seats, but it just wasn't working out in Arizona, and they had to make the move, and I'm happy for people like Bill Armstrong, the GM who used to be here in St. Louis, and Clayton Keller, who's now there, the captain in Utah. So it's pretty exciting, and looking forward to see it. And speaking of uniforms, Doug, I don't know if you've seen this Utah uniform. Do you like it? Do you like the colors?
I haven't seen it.
Jackson approves it.
What are the colors?
Jackson likes it. Tar Heel blue.
Maybe Jackson could describe it there. Yeah, it's a Tar Heel blue.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just black and kind of, like a powder blue. Looks really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, and speaking, Jackson, in the crowd last night, Detlef Shrimp here in Seattle.
Oh, dog.
Nice.
Jackson, that would have gotten you going.
Yeah, he'd be right up there.
Jackson watched the first period yesterday, JR.
Whoa! Holy smokes!
Yeah.
First and last this season for.
Then he gave up on the club. He gave up on the club after that.
Yeah. It was 2 nights a day, JR.
Oh. Speaking of Ray Ferraro, he's about the best analyst going now, isn't he? Is he the number one guy around the league? Nationally, I guess.
Yeah, I think definitely 1-2, and I think people know him if you play the video game, the NHL video game. You know, I got an 11-year-old son who, when he hears Ray Ferraro on TV, so that's the guy who does the video game. So, I think well respected, does a good job, and like we saw yesterday, hustles doing 2 games in the same night. But yeah, I like Ray.
Darren Pang back with the Blackhawks again?
Yes, he is. Yeah. I have not heard a Blackhawk broadcast, but missed the little son of a gun.
Yeah.
Sounds like you didn't like Doug's question.
Well, he was a very much beloved figure here in St. Louis while he was here.
Yeah,
As
look
is
how
Jamie
things have
Rivers
played out
now.
with Bally's. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got to be regretting getting out.
Yeah. Well, probably not. Probably happy.
That's a good question, isn't it?
I thought it was.
What was the question? Did I miss somebody?
No, there wasn't much of a question there. I was just thinking about Darren Pang, if he's still doing the Blackhawk game. That's all.
Let's see. All right, JR, we've kept you. I know you got the Last Minute Blues podcast with Alex Ferrario and Donnie Fandango, which you can catch if you subscribe to the 101 ESPN podcast feeds. Mark Hanna bringing JR every Wednesday here on TMA, and he's heading to San Jose today, right?
Yeah, yep, San Jose. Heading out here in just a couple hours. I'm just sitting here in my Diva green room. I had them repaint the walls.
Yep.
I got just yellow M&Ms here in the bowls here. But, hey, can I contribute to your payphone deep dive here real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just tell you, no, I had an older guy who told me, he was telling me about the payphone days, which obviously I was there too, but he said that he'd love it because, now you sit at a bar and your girlfriend's texting you, your wife's texting you at 10:30, hey, when are you coming home? Well, you got to respond, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said that he'd be at the bar all night long, and then he'd go home the next day, and the wife would say, hey, why didn't you call me? And he goes, well, I turned around and looked at the payphone. There's 3 people in line, honey, so I'm sorry I couldn't call you. The line's a little bit shorter. I'd give you a buzz, but everybody using that payphone, I couldn't call you. So.
Yeah, built-in excuse. Yeah. It's
Maybe
easy
go back
for
to
him to
those
keep
days.
track of,
It's a veteran move.
Mm-hmm.
JR, always appreciate the time. Safe travels from Seattle, San Jose. Doug and I think it's an hour and 50-minute flight. That's what we think. Are we correct on that?
All right. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that I looked at it, and it's 2 hours, close to 2 hours. So hour 50, you guys are spot on.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Okay, stop it.
Dionne Warwick?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that scene from My Best Friend's Wedding?
Tell Mark I said hello, and get that charity thing going, and Iggy, I'll see you at Halloween.
All right, buddy.
Got a whole itinerary.
Very
Thank you, JR.
All right, see you.
All right, thank you, Jerry.
Rutherford. Hey, JR, ever dabble in a little bump of white off a crank while Pascal Rayome gets in your spooked, greasy back wheel? That's from...
Gosh.
Oh, spoked, greasy back wheel. That's from the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom. And she made the observation on Ella Reese having an extra spoke in her anus.
Yeah.
Spoke.
I describe them as rivets.
I like that.
Rivets.
Yeah, like on a screw.
Like rings in a tree. How old is that butt?
I'm television's own Doug Chandler Hill.
293 people are watching this show right now on YouTube.
And wondering why.
And they're talking it over with Cunky the Dwarf, I see in the YouTube chat.
I miss his construction tips.
Collins Construction Tech. I ought to send one in today, Cunky.
Yeah.
The morning after at InsideSTL.com, Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling. Email of the day, or you can just call in, Collier and Thompson phone line. So why don't you tell me about Collier and Thompson?
Well, they want to help make your house look as good as it possibly can so you can make that great investment in your home. Now, maybe you'd like to redo your kitchen, but you're not ready to do the whole thing. You would just like a new stove or refrigerator. Yes, Collier and Thompson can do that. Now, they carry the top brands. They carry Bosch, Thermador, Wolf, Sub-Zero, that kind of thing. But if you're only looking for a stove, say, and the new stove that you want is bigger than the area that the old stove is coming out of, Collier and Thompson deals with that kind of thing all the time. They can trim down those cabinets. They can make it fit. They have experts who do just that type of thing. So don't think you need to get the whole kitchen ripped out just because you want a new stove. You don't. Collier and Thompson can work with you on any size job. And they are your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances and countertops in the business. When Collier & Thompson walks away, you will be super happy and have a remodel that lasts a lifetime. Almost everything with Collier & Thompson is right there in-house. No need to go to 5, 8, 10 different places to remodel one room with Collier & Thompson. Sometimes I call it C&T. Countertops, appliances, lighting, flooring, hardware, plumbing, all in one house. They got specialists who do the job, contractors who've been with the company for many, many years. They know what they're doing. The business has been around since the 1950s, so you can be sure that their people are the absolute best in St. Louis. They have a very deep showroom, over 10,000 square feet there on Manchester and Bowen, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. First-rate place, Collier & Thompson, A-plus Better Business Bureau ranking, Torch Award for ethics from the Better Business Bureau. These are people you can trust to turn your house into a showplace. Collier & Thompson, come home to quality online at collierandthompson.com.
Mentality, if you're feeling like you've lost your edge, if your energy, focus, or drive is not what it used to be, it's time to get back on track with Mentality Health, your local experts in testosterone replacement therapy. Visit Mentality today at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com. Your first step to reclaiming your vitality. If you're feeling tired all the time, it might be more than just stress. Low testosterone could be the issue. If you're struggling to keep off the weight or maintain muscle, testosterone levels could be the culprit. Go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com, and that is where you can learn more about Mentality. Unlike other clinics that offer one-size-fits-all treatments, Mentality tailors your plan based on detailed lab work and ongoing consultations. It's Mentality. lowtusa.com. You're listening to TMA. It's presented to you by Brown & Crouppen. Brown & Crouppen, sponsor of the program. Fisher Window and Door Store, sponsor of our 8 o'clock hour. And coming up in about, 58 minutes? I think 58 minutes, maybe?
Something like that.
We'll have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email the day, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Send your emails in morning after at InsideSTL.com to compete and see if you can take down the JV golf coach who currently leads the month of October. And that is fun to see. Doug, Mike Schilt is on the verge of going to the NLCS. Could be fun to see him go up against Lane Thomas and the Guardians, and two franchises that have not enjoyed a world championship, in one case ever, and another case since 19... Guardians won in 54?
Something like that.
Is that right, Jackson? You're nodding. So I guess
I'm thinking back to 2016 when the Cavs won, and how that was like the first championship in 60-plus years.
So. I think the Yankees won almost everything in the 50s, but I think the Indians did win one, like late 50s with the Whiz Kids, Bob Feller and Bob Lemon and that group.
They won in 48?
That was the last one?
They won the American League in 54.
Oh, okay.
And then they had to wait 41 years till 1995.
Shortened season?
That's when they had Oral Hershiser, right? He was pitching for
I think you're right. And he had a great year in 88 with the Dodgers.
Bulldog Hershiser.
He would be, he'd call in our show back in the day, and he'd be online playing on Poker Stars while doing the interview.
He's a great guy. He was one of the nicer guys I've ever met.
Why don't we get him on?
Baseball. Well, I guess we could try.
Jackson, see if we can get Oral Hershiser.
All right.
Full day today, baseball-wise. You got games all day long. Two teams facing elimination. The ALDS games all deadlocked at one apiece as Kansas City continues its possibility of having a Super Bowl defending champion and a World Series champion. And maybe that can happen.
Yeah. Well, boy, wouldn't that be fun? Well, I'm going to watch the games.
I loved that Guardians-Tigers game 2 days ago. Saw the Mets handle their business yesterday, and then a classic last night between the Padres and the Dodgers. Doug, here's the final out in San Diego as Mike Schilt gets the win in the NLDS.
The payoff pitch. Game! Padres take game 3. And take command in this best of 5, leading it 2-1.
Well, last time Mike Schilt won an LDS game, Randy Arozarena held up his phone.
It was the end of both of them.
You hear that crowd pop after that final out?
It kind of, maybe I'm off, But it kind of feels like this is the Padres' year. It seems like they're the team with the most momentum to me right now.
God, I feel like the Mets have that.
I don't know why.
Also,
I don't think the Mets are as good as the Padres.
Can I ask a question?
I'm not taking questions.
All right, I'll ask it to Doug. They're being called the Miracle Mets.
They've been the Amazons before.
But they have...
Is that 73, Doug? The Amazons?
Wasn't that 69?
69, the Amazons?
Mm-hmm.
But they have one of the biggest payrolls in all of baseball.
The Mets.
Yeah, can you really be the underdog Miracle Mets if you are spending the amount of money? I guess a lot of their money that they're spending is spending on players who are other teams.
Right.
But they still have spent a ton of money to get to the position they're
Mm-hmm.
in. I don't know. I feel like a team more so like the Padres, even though they spent a lot obviously last year, coming back with so much injuries and getting right now, they would be more the underdog.
Yeah.
Or the
I'm not-
Royals.
I'm not
The
saying I
Royals,
want
actually.
I'd rather see the small market teams win, or the low budget teams. That's what I want to see.
You always wanted a rematch of the 84 series between the Padres and Tigers.
Love to see it.
And I guess you could get that. That was at Jack
Mm-hmm.
Murphy and Tiger Stadium. Kirk Gibson had a great World Series then as well.
Yeah, the
Well,
Tigers
Steve
had
Garvey.
Tigers had an incredible team that year. Had a huge record. I remember they were just blew.
Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker,
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Gibson.
Right.
Lance Parrish.
Lance Parrish.
And he had a peach fuzz mustache.
Was Chet Lemon out there running
Chet
around?
Lemon,
the
sure.
outfield? Yeah. Ron LaFleur, was he on that team? Was he with that bunch?
Guy LaFleur.
Guy LaFleur played, skating, no helmet.
Managed by?
Guy LaFleur?
No, the Tigers, 84.
Oh. Sparky?
Yes.
Yeah. I know it pains me to say it, but it would be kind of fun to see Kansas City beat the Yankees and get in there, too.
I'd love to see
It'd be great for St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you right now, Major League Baseball wants the Dodgers in that World Series
I don't
badly.
care.
Oh, are you telling me to put a little taste on the
No.
Dodgers tonight?
I mean, they get just a massive ratings boost when Ohtani is playing. And so I bet they desperately want Dodgers Yankees, but they'll take Dodgers
Yeah.
against anybody.
Who cares
over
what they
anybody
want?
I know.
Who cares what the stuffed shirts
don't.
want?
I don't.
Jackson.
I don't.
How about the people? Could you be a man of the people just once and root for our Kansas City Royals club?
No thanks.
Hates Missouri, this guy now.
Boy, you do.
Dodgers undecided with their starter tonight. Dylan Cease going for the Padres.
Hey, one
Seth
loss
Lugo,
away.
who has been sick this year, going up against Clark Schmidt. And the Yankees are minus 115. I kind of like the Royals in that one, I'm going to be honest with you. So that means the Yankees will win. And then in the Philadelphia Phillies trying to stave off
Elimination.
they'll send Ranger Suarez, who was a proud member of the Prime Ministers this year, wasn't he?
He was just dynamite the first half of the season, among the best pitchers in the game.
And what did you do to mismanage him in the second half?
I got rid of him. I think I did.
Jose Quintana. We remember him from the last time the Cardinals were in the
If
playoffs.
he's too good, get him out. If you go 6 innings, shutout baseball, giving up a couple of hits, yank his ass.
There you go. He will start for the Mets. Tigers undecided as of this moment. Alex Cobb, who just turned 37 2 days ago, will start for the Guardians. All-star pitcher last year for Cleveland, as Cleveland tries to avoid a situation in which they win the division, but the second and third place teams meet in the ALCS. So there you go. Doug, take a look around the league.
Okay.
So it starts at 2:08 Central, and the first pitch of the Dodgers is the last game, 8:08, and you got 2 games in between, so you can just sal in
I will.
today.
Yeah.
Since you've melted your golf clubs, you can't go out and play.
Yeah, I can throw a few lawn jarts around, but that's it. There's not going to be any chipping.
You see that game? It shows how people just try to start controversy when there's nothing there. Costas is doing the game for TBS, and I guess he had a hot mic coming back from a break, and he was supposed to do a CNN mention. He goes, this CNN spot's going to put me in a tough spot. What he was talking about is the timing. He had to come back and do this and then throw the CNN spot in there. It was going to be tough for him to get all this in. That's what he meant. And everybody's, he's a big fan of Democrats and he doesn't want to talk about CNN. It had nothing to do with politics. It's all over the place yesterday. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
I had no idea about any of this.
Made
Were you
you
aware of this?
unhappy. I was aware of it, but
Jackson, were you aware of it?
Yeah.
Okay. What? So do we have audio by chance?
I'll pull it up.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, there's nothing.
Here we go.
CNN promo? puts me in a difficult spot.
There it is.
Now, did he say it was because he didn't have time to get it in?
That was the extent of what he said.
I think somebody from the network said that's what he was talking about.
Oh.
He was just.
Well, so
he
it
had-
could have been that he didn't want to throw something that was obviously politically slanted one way or the other out there. It could still have been that.
No, they said he was talking about he had something else to do, and doing that
But
was going
he
to put him
didn't
in
say
a
that.
difficult
Someone
spot.
else said that for him.
Yeah, well, I don't think Costas even figured that he needed to respond to it.
Probably not.
Bob Costas, who's calling the series for TBS alongside Ron Darling, probably believed he was pressing the talkback or cough button when he grumbled a few remarks that had nothing to do with the game. Costas seemingly had no idea that his mic was on as he broadcast to millions of fans at home during the fifth inning of Game 2. So he has not said anything. It's awfulannouncing.com's report on him.
That off-mic stuff will get you sometimes.
Fortunately, during commercial breaks on this show, we don't say anything that's vile.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Mostly hymnals.
Oh, yeah, we do hymnals.
We pray a little bit and we sing hymns.
It's worked out well for us.
Gather together to ask the Lord's blessings. That's about all the words I know to that.
Killed it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I understand Mark Hanna's here.
Oh.
And he's here on time. Jeremy Rutherford's the one screwing up the schedule.
Yeah, that's why we're
You can bring him in if you want, Chairman.
All right, we'll do.
Thank you, Chairman.
Come on in, Hansy.
Costas has to go.
Oh, gosh.
That's from the total package.
That might be a bit of an overreaction.
So weird. The thing about like people crowd, I don't get it. I just will never get it.
There he is now. Look how tall he is.
Yeah.
Gosh. How
You're going to
tall
get
are
a
you?
higher ROI with a taller financial advisor.
Once upon a time, I said I was 6'2", but I think over the years you start to compress a little bit.
Yeah, compress the ball.
I don't
Right.
compress
Schaffling.
the ball. I do compress my height.
No, they're right. So you think you're 6'1.5" now?
My bone, as
bone?
it were.
With that
Doug, you
quaff.
see that? You hear what he said? He said, my bone, as it were, and he looked at me.
Oh.
Maybe with that quaff, you're 6'2".
Yeah, maybe that helps.
God, some volume.
Yeah.
Got
Does
to
it Pantene, you think?
puff it up a little bit. The parfum shampoo.
Yeah. How pissed are you, Jeremy Rutherford? You pulling the sponsorship after that song and dance this morning?
I'm going to put a finger in his chest.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got it coming.
Later.
Good,
It's
yeah.
a big chest, too. You'll
He
find
said he
it.
was wearing pasties that were corn tortillas.
Yep. So that was hot.
That's my sponsorship right there. Money well
ROI
spent.
season. ROI season.
Yeah,
dude.
I haven't been listening, so can you do the
Little
summary?
recap?
Yeah, give me a recap.
Let's see. Iggy and Stephen Wildwood are in a fight because Iggy says Steve's life's boring and Iggy's was interesting.
Hold on, pause. That was last week's show and the week before.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, we talked about the Blues winning, and
A Jim Dandy.
Jackson stopped watching after the first period because
Yep.
he's tired of hockey now.
I only picked it up in the third period because what sort of moron puts on a weekday game in an NHL?
Someone who doesn't work. You know, it was a game for the degenerates and the unemployed.
Oh, gosh, that's harsh.
Let's take some shots at Gary Bettman while we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's an assault on the working Blues fan.
I actually get
The
it,
working man.
but in a sport that you have limited audience compared to the others, I understand.
Jackson, how about you say that on 101 in a little bit?
That's a very political way of putting it.
You like that? You like what I did there? But it doesn't have the audience of the other three major sports, much less. It has a niche audience in Canada, but MLS has a niche audience in the States, so maybe MLS can get away with it. I understand the thought process behind it with the national game stacked up one after the next. I don't think it is a good marketing move as a business owner. That's a terrible move because this is the day that you're supposed to have a lot of hype. You're supposed to have a lot of audience involved in it. I didn't get a chance to watch much of it. I wasn't much into it
I get
because it felt like a preseason
I
game.
get the Panthers, defending Cup champions, going against the Bruins, Eastern Conference rival, playoff history there. Makes sense because that went down, round 6, I think, 6:30. Yep. And then Utah making its debut after leaving Arizona and going up against the Blackhawks. And you have the equity the Blackhawks have with Bedard. But, yeah, the Blues were the one that you're going, I don't know about this deal. I mean, it worked for me, and I was able to watch it with my kids, but I would imagine there were a number of Blues fans who would have enjoyed watching it. In Jackson, you had you had to go run, so you didn't get to watch the second and third period, so that affected you and your analysis that you're going to provide on Balloon Party here in about 49 minutes.
Stick to the uniforms.
The Krakens are good. Blues just.
Oh boy!
Here's my take. Here's my take. Boy. Here's my take. The Blues have the same colors as the Buffalo Sabres, and I think the Buffalo Sabres do a lot better with that color scheme than the Blues do. That's my take.
You're a horse's ass for saying that.
Nice my take.
It is. I'm feeling so much heat from that hot take over on the other side.
Would you like the gloves?
Hey, you want
I'm
EDF
all right.
mittens?
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'll be a cool cucumber customer.
Right.
Either works. If you want to touch them, you can touch the EDF hot take.
You won't get burned with those.
Look at those. Look at those.
We just heard the Blues uniforms aren't any good.
Yeah.
That's what we
I
just heard.
I just think they can be better.
Like the Sabres better.
I think yes, the Sabres logo is one of the best logos in sports.
The Blues logo is pretty neat. A blue note.
I like it. Yeah, the logo is not the problem.
What's the problem?
The way they dress up those colors. But look at the Sabres uniforms; they're gorgeous.
What about the lighter blue uniform? I like that.
My least favorite of them all.
Yeah, that's what they wore originally. That's when they really looked like no other team in the league.
He's going to trash the Yankees next. You watch.
You're going to the pinstripes?
One of the best uniforms in all of sports.
What about the Cardinal uniform? You
One of
hate
the
that?
best.
At home.
Yeah, at home.
How about City's pink?
No good. I like their white jersey though.
Nice take, douche. The Blues wear beautiful sweaters. That's from your friend, Sweet Kai.
I just disagree on this one. I think it can be better. I'm not saying they're terrible, but they just don't do much for me.
Local sweater hater.
I just think they can be better. I've always said, I've said it I feel like 10 times. The navy blue one that they would wear with the arch in the middle, like that circular logo where they had the blue note and then the arch around it, was their best uniforms, and they got rid of it.
Oh, God.
I was surprised they got rid of that, too.
With the white numbers on the back, they're gorgeous.
I used to love Jackson, but now he's dead to me. That's from the 314.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It should not be news to you if you listen to the show for more than a week that I do not care for the sport of hockey.
Ice hockey?
Ice hockey.
Job on the flagship station of the club.
The damnedest thing about it.
They're not happy with it.
Watching yesterday, I was like, God, this is just not it for me.
It was one period. You can watch a boring first half of basketball too and say, "Oh, this is not for me."
But I like basketball, so even the boring parts, there's stuff I can find I like about it. Hockey just seems like slap it around. Someone finally gets control of it to make a decent pass. They shoot. The goalie saves it, tucks it in. Line.
What about the set play for the first goal of the year on Cairo there, eh?
But that's the thing is you watch the game for 2 periods straight. You don't see anything. You go get a handful of pretzels from the kitchen. You come back, they've scored.
Do you like soccer, boy?
Yeah, I do.
90 minutes without anything happening there.
What's that about?
It suffers from the same thing, but it's
helmets.
Well, it seems like there's more possession in soccer. In hockey, I watch hockey. It seems like nobody ever has possession. The ice is too small. Make the ice bigger. There needs to be more possession of the puck.
Fewer players would be better.
I'm with that. Yeah, I like 3-on-3.
4-on-4. 3-on-3.
I like that.
They couldn't last through 3-on-3.
I know.
Tell that jackass to move to an NBA city. So the 314.
Trying to get the NBA to move here.
I'm starting to pick up on what's going on here.
What do you think it is?
I think he's got a manager. I think he's got a character. I think he's a heel. I think he's managed by Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah, Paul Heyman does a wonderful job on the mic.
He's playing a heel character.
You are playing a character and you actually love the game of ice hockey?
No.
I notice you're wearing an earpiece. Is somebody feeding you this line?
Oh, yeah.
Soros.
Mm-hmm.
Soros.
George Soros.
Oh, boy.
Now it makes
Move
sense.
Pale back to the Cook Studio. It's from the 314. Stop calling uniforms gorgeous, you mother effer. Also, how effing far did he run? And you should get a hurricane named after you like Mark Milton, although we are past H, so it would need to be a tropical storm. Stephen Wildwood.
Sandbagger.
You think that's what that was? A sandbagger?
Mark Milton's Sandbagger. Reference to about 6 years ago.
No, but it still maintains power.
Speaking of years ago on a uniform, how nice would it have been for the Blues to be wearing those dark blues when they lifted the cup?
I'm saying.
If they can't do it at home, wear the dark blues.
Bill.
Right. Oh, Bill.
Petrangelo, now with the Oilers.
Is this why so many people dislike Gary Bettman? He's got to be one of the least popular commissioners. And I've never really understood why. He's a
if I'm going to rank the most popular to the least popular, see if you agree with me on this.
And then Jackson can do the attractiveness.
Yeah, that'll be
scale.
fun. Yeah, I like that. Especially with Salah getting fired. Wasn't he on your list?
He should have been if he wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, you left him and LaFleur off, and people were really hot about that.
I really like Saleh running up the stairs at the.
This is Jackson's ranking of attractive coaches, Doug. Most liked, Adam Silver.
Yep.
Second most liked, God, I'm going to go Gary Bettman. Then I'm going to go Goodell. Then I'm going to go Manfred.
Yep.
I know the three there are really not liked, but I think if I'm doing, what do you think on that, Doug?
Is Goodell unpopular anywhere other than St. Louis, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he gets booed every time. Yeah, I think you could interchange Manfred and Goodell, and I don't think anyone would argue with you one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're tied for last. I don't know much about why they don't like Gary Bettman. I don't know what he's done.
When he first became the commissioner, they had to take some steps to control some labor strife. So they did a lockout. There was a strike. They lost a season. And it really stuck with the fans for a long time. And they really haven't let it go. Even though he's made a lot of good decisions, the league is pretty healthy. They got a good TV contract. But fans tend to hold on to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think relative to Manfred and Goodell, the way I look at Gary Bettman is far more driving of the success of the league.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily so overtly calling the shots of whatever the owners say. Can you imagine everything Goodell does, everything Manfred does? It's whatever the owners say.
Yeah,
he's a mouthpiece.
Yeah,
They're
I
empty
agree with
suits.
that.
That's all they are.
I agree with that assessment. Boy, they're not happy with the Jackson and this Schaefer Door
I can
Company.
see
text
why.
inbox.
Well, hockey season started, so it's usually my prime time of being crapped on. Simply just because I don't like a sport that
Can you skate at all,
most
Buster?
Americans don't like. What's up?
Can you skate at all, Buster?
No, not even.
I got an idea.
No shot.
I got an idea. We'll do like we did for my sons. I'll take you out to Kirkwood Ice Rink.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I'll skate backwards in front of you, holding your hands.
Oh, is that what you
and
did?
make sure you don't fall down. It'll be okay.
I've gone ice skating before.
You can skate, boy, skate?
Probably been about 15 years since I've last done it. It just seems like a great way to hurt your ankle during basketball season. But it takes me about 3 or 4 minutes to learn it again every time I've done it, and then I can do it.
Is that right?
Yeah. Then
I
I mean,
mess with it. I
can't-
tried, and I'm like, I'm going to wind up breaking my wrist or something, and that could cost me that career on the PGA Tour Champions that you think.
Yeah, winter sports were never allowed if you played basketball. Like you couldn't go skiing, couldn't do ice skating. It's just a great way to get hurt.
This is your coach told you that?
Yeah, we're never allowed to do any of that. We're encouraged not to do that. And I never wanted to mess with that.
No.
What age did you get your boy skating, eh?
Third grade, fourth grade,
Really?
something like that.
Yeah.
And the game didn't take. They did a little learn to play thing. And my older one was a goalie, so.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, that was interesting. I always wanted to fire at his head, but he never let me.
Oh, you have to buy all the equipment? That's very expensive.
No, fortunately, the organization that they did the learn to play and then the learn to play league, they had borrow equipment, so got away with that. Thank goodness.
Jackson, within the next 5 years, you'll realize that nobody in St. Louis gives a single F about basketball. Then you'll turn to hockey, and we won't let you in. That's from Harrison's brother, Master.
You can't afford to not let people in. Hockey is not in a position where they can pick and choose who gets to be
The
fans.
Blues sell out a lot of their games.
Sure. Regionally, big. Nationally, not.
This guy.
He just keeps crapping on this.
I don't like, but it's because people crap on. I'm not in the minority when it comes to not enjoying hockey all that much. I am not in the minority.
Hey, Virgin, after that comment about hockey, I hope your new gal turns your ass into an oil field where she drills, just like your power bottom friend, Sweet Sweet Kai. It's from the Warrison Woods Whack.
Oh.
Descriptive.
Feels like we're getting back to Spoke Talk.
Yeah, Spoke Talk. I like that. Spoke Talk.
I really like Spoke Talk.
Let's see. Chairman Steve wants you to replace Iggy. It kills me to say it, but Hansy can take Jackson's seat when he comes instead of Iggy. That is from Chairman Stephen Wildwood. That'll delight Iggy for Chairman Steve's support. So you're out now, Jackson. I guess you can just do balloon party every day.
Just, get prep.
Yeah, prep.
Can watch the highlights of the Blues game the night before.
I'm a big Chairman Steve Lemming.
Are you?
But I'm also a Jackson Lemming.
Yeah, you are a Jackson
I'm
Lemming.
a Mark Hanna Lemming.
Yeah.
God, there's a lot of love going around this room.
I'm telling
right?
you, I'll hold your hands while we're ice skating.
I'd be into that.
Sweet.
You can hold hands, when you're not ice skating too, I suppose. if you'd like. You
That-
know, at the
that would be
commercial
strange.
break.
Yeah, it's for guidance, Doug. It's for safety.
Yes, you are in the minority, Jacqueline. That's from Hottie Toddy.
Oh God, so funny. He called me a girl's name.
Are you done watching for the year, the first period, and that's it for the year? Or what?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Depends.
You gave it a good long effort.
It just really isn't for me. I just really find no entertainment in it whatsoever.
You're disliking it more the more we talk about it, too.
The more I watch it, the more I just realize it's not for me.
Please touch each other. I need this. That's from Caller Buzz. I don't know what that means, but I just saw it at the text of the Schaefer Door Company text inbox. Mark Hanna, always great to see you. Thank you for being on time. And Jeremy Rutherford, you're going to put your finger in his chest?
No, I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to his segment.
Oh.
'Cause I didn't listen before, and I got to actually find out what's going on with this team. So,
JR will inform you. And you're sponsoring the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Nice.
That's Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
Well, thank you,
314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. We'll close out the Fisher Window and Door Store, 8 o'clock hour. 5P Academy and Hustle and Horse Sports Performance, 9 o'clock hour coming up with the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. This is TMA presented to you by Brown & Crouppen.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Thinking about selling your home, but not thrilled about going public? Check out Compass's Private Exclusives with Jeff Lotman. With Private Exclusives, your home is shown to a select group of serious buyers. No public listing, no days on market, just real offers from real people. Their network connects you with top agents and qualified buyers, so your home gets the attention it deserves without all the fuss. Selling your home can be simple and stress-free with Compass Private Exclusives because your home is special. Call Jeff Lotman, your Compass agent today to find out more, or visit the Lotman Group online at JEFFLOTTMANN.com.
Listeners ought to check out Collier and Thompson, support the sponsors, and have the best contractors in St. Louis work on your kitchen remodel if that's what you want, or bathroom remodel, basement, wine room, whatever. Collier and Thompson does it all, and these are people that you can trust. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. That's not always that common for people in this line of work. They won a Torch Award for Ethics from the Better Business Bureau. Collier and Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier and Thompson, come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Hey you, it's Dr. Pryor. If your mouth's been getting more action from late night pizza than it has from a toothbrush, it's time to come see me. At 100 West Dental, we know how to clean up your act and your smile. Whether it's overdue cleanings, a chipped tooth from a wild weekend, or just getting that fresh, I'm definitely not hungover grin, we got you covered. Look, we know you're not shy, so why shy away from getting your teeth right? Book your free consultation at 100westdental.com and let's give you something to smile about. Because hey, you deserve to be as smooth as Tim's golf swing.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. James, I love getting emails from listeners who support the sponsors. Got one from a client of yours who switched, and you immediately saved him $1,000, and it meant the world to him.
The area that we're really having an impact on people's finances are people with drivers under the age of 25. We're seeing material savings for these types of clients, hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars per year.
James Carlton, Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown & Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown & Crouppen, justice is our business.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I regret not managing my finances better in my 20s and my 30s, and now I see how crucial it is for achieving major life goals. Mark Hanna with Evergreen Wealth Strategies helps everyday people every day with their finances, discussing cash flow, liquidity, investments, insurance, and tax-efficient strategies. No matter your financial planning stage, Mark will boost your confidence and keep you on track. Learn more at evergreenstl.com.
Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, a broker-dealer and a SEC registered investment advisor. Equitable Financial Advisors and MI. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and does not provide tax advice.
Hello, it's me, Tom Schmidt. I'm happy to tell you about Salt and Smoke and all the...
I'm going to let you finish, Tom, but first, why don't you take a break, okay? You've been doing this for 57 years. you had time to think about that? Waffle cones, World's Fair? No. Lean brisket, popovers, Cracker Mac, whiskeys, bourbons, custom cocktails, maybe even wings trashed. I don't know. But that doesn't matter if you don't accept my love, Tom. Will you accept my love? Will you kiss me?
Salt and Smoke.
Oh, and Iggy should quit.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Want to take on some legends of TMA?
Sound the same to someone who gives a damn about the best fans in baseball! Tired of it!
The show's so great. Will there be a little speaker system out behind the dumpster so in case you're servicing me, I'll be able to hear my name?
Then nominate yourself to be this month's TMA Listener of the Month. And if you win, you'll get recognition and other stuff. Sometimes all you have to do to win the prize is be a female.
All it takes is one fake girl to just throw this show completely off course.
Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information at TMASTL.com. The TMA Listener of the Month Club, quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. Find out more at TMASTL.com. KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
I spent 4 years in San Francisco.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
KPNT-FM HD2,
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Not on, Doug.
Turn it on,
Seppin
Bill.
guy hates hockey, and now he's not turning my mic on?
Because you
be
like
sorry.
hockey. That's why.
Couldn't be sorry. The break came back quicker than I thought, and I didn't have another song.
You thought Tim was
Hold
going to talk about hockey, and you're trying to censor him.
So I'll send your emails in for QFTA. Erotic stories. We started to get a little momentum there. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Talk about anything. But that's what we do.
Yeah.
Doing that probably at 11:30.
Cool with me.
I got something at 1 o'clock, so good news for you. Hard out.
Cool.
I might have a meeting here, though, so that might delay it. It'll
Okay.
be on the YouTube channel, but then you go back and listen to it. Tim McKernan Show. And then there's a little talk about bringing guests back into the circle. I don't know if I talked about that on the air or not. Did I talk about that on the air or not?
I don't know.
Somewhere it's either QFTA or TMA.
Okay. Anyway,
Be surprised
working with our digital department on that. But that would be something that would start in 2025. So anyway, there you go, Doug. There's your captain's log from Jackson. Because we're going down the hallway, and I'm excited about the Blues win. But if Jackson says some of the things that he just said here on TMA, I could see people charging the building.
It feels like he may just cut your mic if you start talking about
Yeah.
All being serious.
You've had
Whenever
enough. You've had enough.
whenever hockey, I just don't talk. Like I know it's not my bailiwick. If it gets brought up to me, I will share my opinion on the sport.
Okay.
But outside of that, if you guys talk hockey, I just I'll just sit here and I'll look you in the eye and
Will you?
smile, but I'm not going to really have a take.
Okay.
But if it
you've
gets
had
brought
some
up,
takes. You've had some strong takes. And it's upset the townspeople.
Does your lady friend enjoy the sport of ice hockey?
No. She loves football.
She love basketball?
She tolerates it.
Okay. What about baseball?
Not into it.
Okay.
But she loves football.
So the two sports we have here, you're just kind of turning up your nose to it.
I prefer the two sports we don't have.
Oh,
It's an easy, Doug.
no, it isn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I know I'm in the minority here in this area, but I'm with Jackson. That's from Little Beer Cats.
Come on, little.
I'd say it's more prevalent with people closer to my age. Growing up, there wasn't a ton of people who loved hockey. There was a lot of people who loved
Really?
basketball.
Hockey is a huge sport in St. Louis for youth sports.
That's the narrative.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're trying to find some ice time.
No, I know that. Well, that I mean, I think everywhere it's hard to get ice time just because you can only how many gyms are out there in the world, the 100,000s. Ice rinks are tougher to come by.
Well, they've gotten soft. It used to be in my day, you go find a pond and play. Now, if there's no rink open, we're not playing.
Well, they don't freeze anymore either.
And there's not a ton of rinks here compared to other cities.
No, but they're growing. We got quite a few now. Opening Centene helped. And
What's your favorite barn?
The Maryville Complex.
Queenie Park?
No, I guess it'd be Centene. That's the nicest.
I will say I loved going to Ladue high school hockey games as a student. Those were really fun to go to.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. All my friends were out there playing. I liked that.
Brentwood still got a rink there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I liked going to the Brentwood barn.
Yeah, I used to play there when it first opened.
Breaking news regarding Hurricane Milton. Back up to a Category 5, Doug. And it'll be making landfall perhaps closer to Sarasota than Tampa, but nonetheless making landfall here shortly.
Late tonight is what I was seeing. Around 8 p.m., maybe 11 p.m.
It's 240 kilometers southwest of Tampa right now.
With an eye that I saw was like only 3.8 miles wide for an eye for a Category 5. That is terrifying. That is terrifying.
Well, thoughts and prayers. I have a lot of... My brother lives in Fort Myers. My sister lives in Orlando. A lot of friends and family.
Did they evacuate Fort Myers?
No, because I think late yesterday afternoon it said it could get closer to Fort Myers now. It's kind of switching away from Tampa, direct hit, kind of going toward Fort Myers. So I think I talked to my sister. She said, yeah, we're going to lose power and it's going to be flooding, but I think we're safe. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Safe from the surge. I read that one of the reasons the surge is so bad is because the ground just below the ocean, the ocean's not very deep, just off the west coast of Florida. It's very shallow for a long way.
You can walk out really far.
and that acts as like a ramp for the water coming up.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It doesn't get blocked by anything.
Yeah, the sandbar goes way out when you're in
I mean, you can walk hip deep for 100 yards or more.
Yeah.
Like a guy from the Weather Channel put it perfectly. He said, bless you, Tim.
Sneezins is pleasins.
Thank you. That's right. That's exactly what you say.
Right.
He said, take a gallon
It's a
of
more
water.
secular response.
He said, take a gallon jug of water and start pouring it into a Dixie cup. That's what this is going to be. It's just nowhere for the water to go.
They're going to get 2 months worth of rain in Tampa and Orlando today and tomorrow.
Oh, God.
A little bit saturated.
Ugh. That is brutal.
Yeah. Well, would you rather live there or here?
Honestly?
Yeah.
I lived down there, and I came back here, so.
No, I did too.
Yeah.
But I did love the weather when I was down there. Absolutely loved it.
From November 1st till mid-March, it was the nicest weather I've ever lived in my entire life.
Yeah.
Minimal rain, 75 is the high every day, low is 65, perfect, always sunny. But before that and after that, it was hot and rainy.
Yeah.
And there was always a chance of natural disaster like that.
And then when you're down there, you probably think, oh, Missouri, you probably get a tornado once a week or so. And I still, as many years as I've lived here, over half a century, I've never one time seen a tornado.
What about a funnel cloud?
I've never seen a funnel cloud. Not one.
What about a water spout?
I know they're out there.
Water spout on the river to
I haven't seen a water spout. There's a tornado hit, within a mile of my house
That's
in
right.
Sunset Hills, but I never saw it. I've never seen one.
Neither have I.
Maybe it's because we're hunkered down in the basement when we're warned about it.
Yeah, I've never hunkered down.
You're too tough to do that, or don't have a basement.
I don't have a basement, but
You would hunker down. You wouldn't?
no.
Why not?
Where am I going to go?
Well, if you had a basement, would you go down there? Sure, you would.
Yeah, if I had a TV down there.
Oh,
Likely not going to work if a tornado's hitting.
it works right up until the time the tornado hits you or takes out the power line in your backyard.
Watching Seinfeld.
Yeah.
There's a lot of water spouts out here. Open your eyes, Doug. That's from the River to
There's
Pear
no
yacht
water
captain.
spouts.
Yeah, when the weather is bad over the River to Pear, the water spouts form.
I've never seen one of those either.
That guy's a yacht captain on the River to Pear. You calling him a liar?
He's probably seen everything. I haven't seen one.
You were taking a yacht trip down River to Pear?
No, love to. Go from U City to Lee May. That'd be great.
I think the smell would be.
So Doug believes in tornadoes without seeing one, but not glory holes. That's from the 314.
That's interesting.
That's true. It's also true.
I'm watching The Shield with Michael Chiklis.
Change the subject.
No, if you'd let me finish, it ties right into the subject.
All right. Okay, sorry.
And they had one of the crimes they were trying to solve is that these guys were going to glory holes, and there was a guy who hated gay people, so he'd be on the other side of the glory hole. They'd stick it in, he'd put a mousetrap on it.
Oh.
And now they're trying to solve the crime of who was getting their weens chopped off with these mousetraps.
That was the storyline.
That was one of the storylines, yeah. Getting caught in glory holes.
Ran out of topics.
That did tie into what we're talking about, though, so you're poo-pooing maybe before you heard the story.
I guess.
One guy was stuck in there. He couldn't get out.
Sure.
The mousetrap wouldn't fit back through the hole, and the cops were called, and he's sitting there with his ween through the hole with a mousetrap on it.
I posted that picture on Facebook about a glory hole.
This was a TV show you've been watching.
Yeah.
Huh. No, I'm not sure they exist at all. Or if they did, anyone would use them. I think it's mostly
I
made
may
up.
just go out one day, Doug, out into the some of the truck stops around town. Maybe film it and just go on the search for a glory hole.
Okay. I've been in thousands of public restrooms in my day. I've never seen one.
Well, maybe I'll search.
Okay.
Yeah, just poke around, man.
You have to think if it's in a public restroom, someone would have to go in there with like a saw of some sort to carve the glory hole.
And
Wouldn't
where
that
else-
alert the employees?
Where else would you do it? A private restroom in your home?
Yeah, I mean, what people do in their own home.
Well, they have those
Who
tools.
does it at home?
They have those tools where it's just a round cylinder and just...
Have you ever walked in a restroom and someone's drilling a hole in the bathroom stall?
Well, no, he's not going to do it with somebody there. He makes sure nobody's there.
Well, how's he know? You start drilling and someone walks in. How would you know?
It's usually a two-man job, guy outside to let the guy know.
Yeah.
Talking to Mike, hey, they're coming in, and the other guy's in there with an earpiece, and he's sawing the glory hole.
We'd have to smooth it out, too, or put some sort of insert in there, because you don't want a splinter on that situation.
It's all a reason why it doesn't exist.
Fair enough.
Send your emails in on Glory Holes the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design, air, heating, and cooling. Email of the day. Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hide and will prevent your facility from having a hide fires. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com. Doug, the Colonel did what he could yesterday, but he didn't get a whole lot out of the head ball coach down in Columbia, Missouri, where they're getting ready to check out the foliage in Amherst this weekend. Jackson, you got some of the audio. They were trying to figure out what took place in College Station this past weekend. Here's Eli Drinkwitz.
You know, again, I didn't see anything on the film that told me we had a lack of effort. And I'm keenly aware to look for that because that would tell me that there's a deeper issue. We did not respond in either side of the ball with making the plays that we needed to, which again goes back to, did we put those guys in the right situations on offense or defense, which is my responsibility. And we just weren't able to land that counter punch. I thought we did, obviously, but it got taken off the board. And again, we have to respond in a better manner. I think we all see that, recognize that, take responsibility for that.
Doug, that was not a lack of effort, he said. Here is what he had to say, though, to the team.
I had a very clear and direct message with our team, and I'm going to say it again here to y'all. One bad day doesn't define our team or our season. Our response will. There's going to be bad days. You're going to have, you're not always going to have peak performance as much as we would like to. It doesn't have to define us, but we do have to respond, and we do have to respond in a better manner. And how we respond will define who we are as a team and what kind of character we have as a program. The second thing I told them is ignore the noise. There's always going to be narratives. There's always going to be criticisms. There's always going to be opportunities to point the finger. That really doesn't have anything to do with us. Our opportunity is to respond, ignore the noise, embrace the brotherhood. The best always tell themselves the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth of your performance on Saturday. You have to take responsibility for that, and you have to find a way to beat UMass.
Called UMass a good football team.
You're not going to have to find too many ways to beat them. It's everyone else on the schedule you're going to have to find a way to beat.
Yeah. When you have a performance like Saturday, that's a structural issue. That's not like one or two players just didn't bring it and it cost them the game. That was top to bottom. Nobody was put in the right position. Nobody responded well.
Right.
That's on the coach 100%. And he's taking responsibility is the only way to do it.
After a bye week.
Yeah.
Missouri now, Doug, if you like him to win the national championship, you can get him at plus 10,000. So the odds have gone up exponentially.
Yeah.
The favorite, Ohio State at plus 300. Texas at plus 400. This is going to be an interesting situation. If I were to circle a team that might be great but may have their hands full, is Georgia. They're third at plus 450. But they still got Ole Miss. They still got Texas. And, I don't know. I don't know if a 9-3 team would get in. Depends on how everything else looks around the SEC and around the country. Roll Tide has a loss as well. They're plus 650. Miami plus 1,100. And Oregon, who gets Ohio State at home, as Jackson calls it, it's the Autzen Zoo, and it never rains at the Autzen Zoo. Plus 1,200. Tennessee's got a lost Arkansas. They're plus 1,500. Penn State's undefeated, plus 1,800. Ole Miss has a loss to Kentucky. They're plus 2,200. So there's Missouri at plus 10,000, and we have listed 4 SEC teams, all with losses that are exponentially higher than the Fighting Tigers, and that now includes A&M at plus 6,000, LSU at plus 7,000. It seems like Missouri just might have something to prove.
Oh, gosh.
What?
After watching Missouri in the first 5 games, if you're still holding out national championship hopes for this team, that's pretty far-fetched.
No!
There's nothing about the way they've played that makes you think they're a national championship contender.
Guess you didn't see the Murray State game.
Oh, I didn't count it, really.
Gabe's not counting the UMass game.
You cannot possibly have watched their last 3 games and thought, yeah, this team just might go all the way. There's no way you could come to that conclusion.
Yeah. I'd say Alabama's pretty good value at plus 650. I mean, obviously they just lost to Vanderbilt, but I think
I don't know, Jackson. I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you on that. I think they might have a real defensive issue there.
That certainly could be the case. I think we definitely saw that in the second half against Georgia, and obviously against Vanderbilt, letting them score 40-plus points.
I don't know on that. I'm looking at this right now as far as a value play. I don't know if I necessarily see value. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of Oregon. I'll probably get a chance to watch them this weekend to have an idea on 12-1 on my money on that.
Really don't know much about Texas. I mean, they beat Michigan and Michigan, but I think Michigan has shown that they are not who they once were. Texas is the one where I think they're the most dominant team in college football, but
I'll tell you who. I don't know if this is Missouri or if it's A&M and Wegman, and the team is just a different team with Wegman. And by the way, this isn't like, oh, they did it to my team, so now I'll say this. But I talked about it before that game, listening to A&M's beat writer with Gabe, going, hey, I know people don't believe it because they saw him play against Notre Dame and he looked bad, but they have a much higher ceiling with Connor Wegman. I guess he was a big Jimbo Fisher recruit, apparently. I didn't know much about the guy, and apparently Missouri didn't either. But plus 6,000 for A&M, and you look at their schedule, they really are in a good spot.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice thing to throw something on last week, because when you look at their schedule, they really do have a favorable schedule relative to the SEC. I don't think LSU's got it there at plus 7,000. You know, I'd love to throw $100 on Missouri and win 10,000, but as you said, Doug, I haven't seen anything that's indicated that. But I gather from that press conference he's going to make some changes in this game. You know,
are those odds to win
the national championship?
Yeah. Well, Texas A&M an easy schedule. They could make it, but I don't know their chances of winning.
But the issue is, I don't know who is is there a...
Yeah, I don't think there is.
You know, I mean, we're used to seeing teams that are so damn good, so damn dominant. I still don't view Michigan from last year that way, but they went undefeated. And I mean, hell, they beat Ohio State when Ohio State was trying. They beat Alabama, and they beat Washington. And I feel like, and they went in that Happy Valley and just that was just like they just gently squeezed the life out of the Nittany Lions and didn't throw the ball at all because they didn't have to because their defense was so good. But I don't view them as like a 2019 LSU team, the best college team I've seen in the 21st century.
Certainly offensively.
Offensively, it was just otherworldly. But at the same time, Ohio State hasn't. I mean, if Ohio State goes into Eugene and beats the crap out of Oregon, that's going to, because there's just a lot of attention on Ohio State going into this year. But 3-1 on my money, I don't see it. And 4-1 on my money for Texas, I don't see it. And 4.5-1 on my money for a team that I'm not real certain is going to get into the playoff in Georgia. So I don't know. I don't know where the value comes in as far as like a long shot. What about the Indiana Hoosiers at plus 20,000? Coach Signetti, Google me.
Oh gosh. No,
they have the same odds as Kansas.
One win Kansas.
How in the hell is that possible?
Somebody forgot about him.
Indiana's plus 20,000 and Kansas is plus 20,000. What's going on here?
Kansas is they're super eliminated. They can't.
I know they're 1-5, but they lost to UNLV.
Took Lindenwood's measure.
They got Lindenwood. That's the win.
They lost to Arizona State, UNLV, Illinois.
Okay, so they've got some non-conference law. I'm just trying to figure, because it's obviously got to be about them winning the Big 12.
Right, but I don't even think that they are going to be in that position, even close to that position.
KU is... They're plus... What is... Doug... Kansas is plus 50,000 to win the Big 12, but they're plus 20,000 to win the national championship.
Could be a typo.
I'm not making this up.
If they can just get hot.
Did they miss out on a zero?
For real? Because I mean that's there are teams that are plus 200 and 300,000.
Yeah, I don't know
although it's New Mexico State, Diego Pavia.
Yeah, probably similar record. That's so that would make sense. When you have one win.
I don't think Kansas can get that hot.
And none of those wins come from a team that's been D1 for more than 5 years.
Right.
Vanderbilt's plus 50,000 to win the SEC, Doug.
That loss to Georgia State's always going. That's what's so confusing. It's the transitive property just never works.
Well, I saw Matt Rule of Nebraska doing a press conference yesterday, and he's like, people have to get it through their heads that the days of teams dominating week in and week out and then going undefeated, which is what I grew up with, and I don't know if you grew up with that.
Sure.
Okay, that's over. Number one, you play more games, albeit you pad the schedule. But you have these conferences at a higher level. They're compressed, in particular with two of the conferences. But because of NIL and the portal, he goes, it's like the NFL. And how often do you see a team going undefeated in the NFL? You know, what are there, two right now? Am I right on that? Maybe Chiefs and Vikings?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, you got to look at it through that lens. It's like the NFL now. And he was with the Panthers for a little bit before getting shipped out. So... I don't know, because I'm looking at this and I'm going, yeah, I mean, I could absolutely see Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Alabama winning the national championship, but I wouldn't necessarily bet on them because the odds on it aren't necessarily rewarding. I don't know. A&M at plus 6,000. That would probably, if I was, and Clemson at plus 3,000, actually, as far as like kind of long shot payoff. Yeah. Maybe Notre Dame at plus 4,500. I just don't think Notre Dame has the offense to do it. Dabo's got them throwing a football and moving it in Clemson, but I don't know if they're doing it against anybody any good. You know what I mean?
Cade Klubenek, is that the name of their signal caller?
Cole Kublik?
I think is it Cade or Cole?
Cole's the guy who's on the broadcast team with, is he on with Tommy Hart?
I don't know who he's on with.
On Kai?
Cade Klubenek. Yeah, he's the quarterback for Clemson. You're good.
Tim, did you listen to Drinkowitz press conference?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it live.
I know Gabe said he was going to ask him, probably not get an answer. Did he ask him about preparing for the wrong quarterback?
Yes, and it kind of got a non-answer on that one. Gerard Hamilton, who works with Gabe at PowerMizzou.com, does a column every week. What Eli Drinkwitz said and what Eli Drinkwitz meant. And so that's on Power Mizzou, but I read that last night. I don't want to misquote him, but it was
Here it is. What Mizzou football coach Eli Drinkwitz said on Media Day ahead of Week 7 and what it means. Let's see. When asked about whether the defensive performance versus A&M was more of a schematics issue or execution issue, especially based on him expecting Marcel Reed to play over Connor Wegman, quote, Drinkwitz responded, I think we all take responsibility for the issues on Saturday, schematically and execution-wise. At the end of the day, it falls on my shoulders to make sure it's better, and our focus is leading up to UMass. We make no excuses about it. Shouldn't have mattered who was playing the quarterback position. We should have been better, and we need to focus this week on stopping the quarterback and figuring out the scheme so that we can execute at a higher level, end quote. Doug takes me back to Quinn Snyder. Here is Gerard saying what it meant.
Okay.
The play on the field last week showed that Mizzou was unprepared for Connor Wegman and the Texas A&M offense, which makes some sense because the way the Aggies ran their offense with Wegman's different than when Reed starts. Drinkwitz had said multiple times last week that A&M centered its offense around Reed to play to his strengths. That's who Mizzou prepared for. And Drinkwitz's quote, particularly the quote, it shouldn't have mattered who was playing the quarterback position part, all but admits the Tigers were not prepared for the right quarterback, which is a little disappointing to hear if you're a fan of this team that had legit college football playoff aspirations.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it absolutely matters when you have a quarterback who doesn't move that much and a quarterback who you kind of have to put a spy or contain on.
Yes.
And that makes a massive difference.
But after you see that it's a different quarterback, the other guy, you would think that their coaches had the ability to make some adjustments and that the players have practiced somewhat against passing style offenses and still know you got to cover the guy.
Well, I know.
You got to get a pass rush. Doesn't take that much coaching to say, all right, we're going to have to do it this way now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like,
that's what makes coaches worth $1 million a year, isn't it?
But it was evident by the way that they were only rushing 4 at most was that they didn't switch anything. They were not playing to that way.
But wouldn't you think after the first series of downs, you just set the defensive team down on the bench and the coach said, all right, they're doing something different, so here's what we're going to do to counter it?
I would think, yes. But that clearly did not happen.
I guess not.
Keep an eye on this over the next 11 days. You going to homecoming?
Still haven't decided yet.
I think I'm going to homecoming. Going up there for 2 nights.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday.
Pony Club Vogue, Regina's Cabaret.
It's an 11 a.m. kick, so you have a lot of time after the Saturday game.
I love to go to strip bars when you're 48 at 3 in the afternoon.
It's just classy as all it is.
It's like old money.
Mm-hmm. Straight to Vogue. I think there's a shuttle.
I think there is.
Yeah, and it's all old money.
From the press box.
Yeah, from the press box to Club Vogue.
It's bad enough coming out of a strip club when it's light outside. It's even worse going into one when it's light outside.
I got to say, though, I've had that wonderful experience a handful of times in my life. And the previous 7 hours, though, when that's happening, have usually been pretty good. You know what I mean? In order to get there. Now, you're going to pay for it. Now, you're about to pay the piper when that sun hits you at 6 or 6:30 in the morning, especially when you're in the Las Vegas desert. And you're like, oh, boy. But,
you wear a bag over your head when you go in and come out?
No, I'm proud.
Are you really?
I'm proud of being a sexual little boy.
Oh.
What about pantyhose over your head?
Yeah, I wear that.
Then you're going to get arrested for attempting to rob the place.
This is up your nose.
Hey, Schaefer Door Company is the sponsor of the text inbox. They're online at SCHAEF1ER.com. Call or text 636-782-3608. It's going to get you the quickest response time. They service all kinds of garage doors for service and new installs. That's Jason Gosrow. They're also hiring, so go to SchaeferDoor.com if you're looking for a career switch with a growing business. They service commercial doors as well, so if you run a business or warehouse with big, tall doors, Schaefer is experienced in these types of jobs. Schaefer Door is a Clopay Master Authorized Dealer. The number is 636-782-3608, or go online at SchaeferDoor.com. It's SchaeferDoor.com. They fixed up Doug's garage quick, fast, in a hurry. They can do the same thing for you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Ow! JV Golf Coach, your leader. I've got a clear and direct message. Tim was astounding today. But this email's about moisture. Penis moisture. Holding hands while skating with him was magical. Ode to my Centene Park skating lover. Seems as though a month ago I was email champ, never got high. Oh, I was a sorry guy. Now I smile and face the man that will someday share my name. Yeah, now I'm through with the game. This boy will never be the same. And even though we ain't got Channel 4 money, I'm so in love with you, honey. And everything will bring a chain of love. In the morning between your thighs, you bring a smell of cobblers to my eyes and tell me everything. I just read what's in the prompters. Everything's going to be all right. And even though we ain't got Channel 4 money, I'm so in love with you, honey. I'm just reading it. This is what's It's like a refrain, chorus. And everything will bring a chain of love. I guess what I'm saying is I want to take our relationship to the next level. The forecast is in. I see Doug getting 8 to 10 inches in the future cast.
Oh.
Some loose ass.
Gosh.
That's kind of romantic. It's like when Johnny Cakes approached Vito in the kitchen.
Very much so. Lou Sace.
Kenny Loggins would be proud the way you butchered this song.
Sadie Hawkins, Doug, the Blues came back from behind to win their season opener in Seattle, led by Jordan Kyrie's 2 goals and Bitter's pillow stacking. Mike Schultz Padres are 1 win away from eliminating the Dodgers as Fernando Tatis Jr. continues to rake in October. Dodger starter Walker Buehler revealed he had a watch worth 6 figures stolen from a racetrack 2 weeks ago. Reminds me when old Pedro Guerrero got Mickey Finn by a pair of Huas down in Houston and had 26 grand in watches and jewelry stolen. Iggy's done with the Hawk Tua girl because she talked about her large bowel movements. But I think the lead is that Libby Jack's friend Kai gets aroused when his fiance rips loud, juicy farts.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't vote because there's no one to vote for. I almost ran for mayor once, but my campaign hit a snag when it turned out I was going to have to fill out a bunch of forms, and I don't have time for that. What with my busy schedule of masturbating and watching poop story videos where this guy plays fart sound effects and then drops fake poop down his leg. I'm not even sure I'm registered to vote. Reminds me of Election Day in 2016 when our former stoner board op was asked if he had voted. He initially responded yes. Then when Tim called the bluff, he said he was going to vote before asking where the nearest polling place was to the studios if voting was like running to a QT to pick up cigarettes. Okay, gotta go now. I've got a busy day lined up of cruising truck stops in search of glory holes, and then I need to work on my Halloween costume. Sure, I'm 60 years older than the average trick-or-treater, but if I wear a mask and talk in a scary voice like Stingray's uncle, it'll be the creepiest, funniest thing I've ever done. That's from Buck Swope.
Buck Swope with a nice little email this morning.
Regarding the toughest TMA listener, I say that Cletus is the toughest, and it's not even close. His rough, calloused hands are like giant meat hooks. He tried to sink those beefy babies into my prostate at the Hit and Giggle last October, and I'm still scared to relive that painful memory. I know he comes off as a lovable, drunk glass installer, but that horny mustached dude possesses tremendous grip strength, and I had to sprint down the fairway to avoid his curiously penetrating digits. I barely escaped his grasp that time, and later on, after I let my guard down, he sneaked up on me again and tried to dig his pointer finger deep inside my brown hole.
Oh, gosh.
I realized he wasn't going to leave my butt alone until he had paid her, so I let him scoop up a fingernail's worth of mud from my gaping fudge factory right there on the golf course. Talk about one tough dude. It's from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach just got himself suspended for a vile email for the second day in a row. Suspended a period of 2 days' time. His name is going right back into the Illinois Recovery Center suspension log. You'll know it won't feel good.
Doug, at your request, here is a beep-doo-bop, dee-doo-beep email from Colin, the construction guy, with construction tips for Doug.
Good.
Well, today I have a very real, true story. As a manly construction man and CBC grad, I also consider myself a mechanic. So today I'll learn you how to change a water pump on a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. Step 1, lay tarp on driveway. Step 2, jack up the front end and chock the back wheels. Do not knock the jack off, Doug.
Right.
That would be dangerous. Step 3, remove passenger wheel. There's like 40 steps to this, so I'll cut to the part Doug likes. Step 69, now that you and your stepdad are covered in radiator fluid, remove each other's clothes. Very important to undress each other.
Yeah.
Then, once you're both naked, head to the fridge and grab all the lunch meat you can and wipe each other down from head to chode. You know what they say, pastrami, salami, daddy, mommy, smell me like your mortadella.
Oh.
And bada boom, bada bong, bing bong.
Awful.
You've changed a fuel pump. It's in Colin the Construction Man.
Colin the Construction Man.
Oh, Jackson. It was a great start to the show because Jackson talking puck causes ED in the Pacific Northwest. But I now write this with tears in my eyes. The unprovoked attacks on St. Charles is one thing, but now you've crossed a substantial and unforgivable line. The classic blue note symbol is legendary, and it is a 64th note because of the founding of the city in 1764. But you didn't show prep, did you? Knock it off until you can run at least 5 miles sub 8 with a heart rate of 145 or lower. My boycott of court basketball continues. That's from Shooter McGavin, the Vice President of Sales of Golf Club Humidors.
Shooter McGavin, Vice President of Sales, Golf Humidors.
Good morning, and young, as they say in old country. Did that segment Long Payola for Tiamu by the Strode Man include a discount code for 30% off my next purchase of $47 or more? Or should we all email thegrill111 at AOL.com about it?
Thanks, and hashtag free perk. That's from number one Asian intern Brian Henson. Colts at an opponent to be named later on Sunday. Time also TBD, but the roof at Lucas Oil will be closed. It's Brian Henson.
Brian Henson, roof closed.
And finally, Baldwin Beer Bitch. Let's see some pics, gal. You sound annoying, but I want to measure how much annoyance I can take. Thanks in advance. That's from Steve. And that's what we have for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. What you got?
I do enjoy a construction tip, but this one was a little bit, little naughty. I'm going to go with Buck Swope. I think he had the best email.
God, it's like 5 days in a row I've voted with you. It was the best one. I'm going to go with Swope.
Buck Swope is his tied, the JV golf coach. We got a 2-goal
Congratulations.
2-goal scorer. All right, Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway. Oh, my God. You better be ready for this one.
Make up a different story about the game.
Okay.
Balloon party and the ire of the 101 ESPN listener coming for Jackson here in about 3 minutes. Switch your YouTube channel over to 101 ESPN. Switch your streaming device over to 101 ESPN or your radio to 101 FM. All right, we got to go. For Jackson Bennett Burkett, for Chairman Kurt, for Kenneth Iggy Strode, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been TMA, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10